the Boston Bruins and the St. Louis Blues. And this is the Stanley Cup, the oldest trophy competed for by professional athletes in North America. It goes way back to 1893. Hello again, everyone. I'm Dan Kelly with Bill Mazur. Welcome to another CBS Game of the Week. And joining our CBS crew today will be Detroit Red Wings great star, Gordie Howe. And today, the Boston Bruins go after their first Stanley Cup in 29 years. And Bill, all of Boston seems ready for it.
They sure are. I think the greatest accolade that I've heard for Boston was given today by Gordie Howe. We were talking about great teams of the past, Detroit Red Wings, Montreal Canadiens, and Gordie said this is about as good a Stanley Cup team as he's seen, this Boston Bruins team.
The Bruins have won the first three games of this series by scores of 6-1, 6-2, and 4-1, and can wrap up the Stanley Cup with a victory over the St. Louis Blues today. The Blues, however, would like to send this series back to St. Louis. And, of course, everyone is wondering whether today will be the day for the Boston Bruins or whether St. Louis can extend the series.
Well, of course, the Blues are playing a little undermanned. They haven't made much of a case of it, but Al Arbor, for example, has been playing injured. Noel Picard has. But you wonder, Boston has played so exceptionally well that they speak for themselves.
Scotty Bowman, the general manager and coach of the Blues, said his team has played well, but the Boston Bruins have simply been outstanding. We'll be ready for the opening face-off in just a moment.
You're confirmed on flight 917 to Los Angeles. Thank you for calling American.
This is 917, Chef. Too much fat, get rid of it. There's a little light chop over Michigan, but it's mostly below 25,000 feet. J60 looks like our smoothest ride. Good morning. Welcome to American Airlines. White man, 17, Mr. Gage. I'll take your bag.
We're going on a vacation.
You're on American.
You're just hearing the final piece of a standing ovation that the Boston Bruins received as they came onto the ice to start this game. The St. Louis Blues are just stepping onto the ice now. The Boston Bruins have come this far by defeating the New York Rangers in 6 games in the first round of the playoffs, then knocking off the Chicago Blackhawks, the East Division League champion, in 4 straight games. And the Bruins have defeated the Blues in the first 3 games of this series. So the Boston Bruins have now won 9 straight playoff games. The St. Louis Blues won their way into the Stanley Cup Final by eliminating the Minnesota North Stars in 6 games. And then the Blues went 6 games against the tough Pittsburgh Penguin hockey team before winning that series. And now the Blues are trailing 3 games to nothing to the Boston Bruins. A standing ovation. I'm just trying to see what the reason for it is. Can you tell them? Just a Boston Bruin banner on the far side that's being thrown over the top balcony. Of course, here in Boston today, when you come into the rink, they're selling pennants saying Boston Bruins 1970 Stanley Cup champions. And here are many of the signs you see around the Boston Garden. They're also selling T-shirts. The Boston Bruins 1970 Stanley Cup champions. Well, they could be in about 2.5 or 3 hours' time, but they're not yet.
The thing, of course, that, again, to quote Gordie Howe, Gordie was saying that a lot of times in a dressing room, you know, a team will have been beaten and they'll sit around and talk about their mistakes. And Gordie says, you know, the more he's watched as we look at Harry Sinden, the more you realize that instead of talking about how bad you may have played, you got to say the other team really played great. And in essence, this Boston Bruins team, since the 5th game of their play against the New York Rangers, when they scored 2 goals in the final period to win 3-2 and then beat the Rangers in New York by a score of 4-1, has been just sensational. Dan?
There's the St. Louis bench and general manager and coach Scotty Bowman. That's Frank St. Marseille already on the bench. The officials for today's game, the referee is Bruce Hudd. And, of course, Bobby Orr, the great superstar defenseman of the Bruins, is in the lineup today. And Mrs. Orr, Bobby's mother, has been brought into Boston from Parry Sound, Ontario, Canada, and that was the Mother's Day greeting for Mrs. Orr, Bobby's mother. The referee is Bruce Hood. The linesmen are Matt Pavlich and Ron Ego. And now before Game 4 of the 1970 Stanley Cup Final, it's time for the national anthem. John Kiley. Game 4 of the 1970 Stanley Cup Final. The Boston Bruins have Gerry Cheevers starting in goal. The St. Louis Blues, Mr. Goalie Glenn Hall, making his 112th Stanley Cup playoff appearance. And every time Hall starts in a game or plays in a game, he adds to his record. The Bruins have Sanderson at center with Carlton and Westphal on the wing. St. Louis has Brett Berenson, Bill McCreary, and Jim Roberts up front. Berenson gets the draw, shoots it into the Bruins zone, and the Blues make a change right away. Back for Boston is number 26, Don Orr. Over to Sanderson, back to Orr. Don Orr ahead to Sanderson. McCreary broke it up and shoots it back into the Bruins zone. And Bobby Orr, number 4, is back to get it. He gives it to Sanderson, number 16. Bob Flager knocks him flying. And McCreary flipped the puck out on the boards to St. Marseille. To Gary Sabrin. Sabrin, number 11, slack shot. Cheevers got that, holds onto it, and we'll have a face-off in the Bruins zone to the left of Gerry Cheevers. Bob Flager got Sanderson a solid check and put him right over his back. But Sanderson got up and continued right on and appears to be all right. There is Derek Sanderson.
That certainly was about as good a body check as you'd ever want to see, and as a testimony to the resilience of young Sanderson that he's back up there playing. That looked like he cut the wind right out from under him.
Frank St. Marseille ready for the face-off. Sanderson gets the draw. Carlton couldn't clear it. Now here's Don Orr, number 26. Play is called, and we're going to have a penalty against Derek Sanderson. Sanderson of the Bruins is going off. The action has stopped with 19 minutes and 20 seconds remaining in the first period. Let's pause for a moment.
An electric eye sets this electronic shutter automatically. Your color pictures come out as bright and lifelike as this. And between this electronic shutter and the picture is a camera that costs only $29.95. The Polaroid Color Pack 2. Color pictures in a minute. Electric eye. 3-element lens. Built-in flash. $29.95.
Sanderson's in the penalty box for Boston for butt ending. And the Bruins, a man short, clear the puck down the ice of the St. Louis Blues. Frank St. Marseille is back to get it. Around on the boards for Phil Goyette. Here's Goyette, out to Ab McDonald, over to Berenson, back to McDonald, now to Tim Ecclestone. Long shot, Cheevers cleared it to Orr, and Bobby Orr, number 4, has it for the Bruins. Ecclestone takes him back into the corner. Bruins a man short, Orr clears it down the ice. A minute and 25 seconds left in the penalty to Sanderson. And the Blues go back to reorganize. The Blues have scored more power play goals in the playoffs than any other team. 18 so far. Here's Phil Goyette, number 10. Ran into Berenson. Berenson checked to the Bruins. Mark Cott shot at the center. Berenson overskates it. Now Goyette gets it to Berenson. To Ab McDonald, number 20. Here's McDonald for St. Louis. Flat shot. Cheevers stopped that low shot. McDonald and Orr into the corner. Orr comes up with it. McDonald trying to hold it there, and they gang up along the boards in two. 51 seconds left in the penalty to Sanderson. Boston nothing and St. Louis nothing.
When I said that Sanderson had the wind taken from him, apparently had a little pride taken from him, because on the ensuing face-off, he incurred a penalty, and there he is in the penalty box now. St. Louis trying to put pressure on here as they've got the odd man.
Berenson moves up to center. Ab McDonald and Jimmy Roberts on the wings. Talbot and Noel Picard will be the point men. 51 seconds left in the penalty to Sanderson. The Bruins. Now Tim Ecclestone comes back out. He takes over for Ab McDonald on left wing. Orr is out there for Boston along with Don Orey. Up front, Don Marcotte and Eddie Westfall killing off this penalty. Berenson on the face-off against Westfall. Westfall gets the draw back to Orr. He lost it to Ecclestone. Ecclestone rolled it in front. Orey broke it up. Here's Don Orey, third it to Westfall, who picks an opening and shoots it down the ice. And Big Noel Picard, number 4, is back to get it for the St. Louis Blues. Picard tried to set up Berenson. The pass was behind him. Now Orr. Back to Don Orey, number 26. Out on the wing for Westfall. Westfall checked by Talbot. Talbot for the Blues in his own zone. John-Guy Talbot drops it back to Noel Picard. 15 seconds left in the penalty as Picard comes to center to Berenson. Berenson flat shot is wide. Now Marcotte tried to clear it out. Did to center, and Talbot has it there for St. Louis. John-Guy Talbot over to Tim Ecclestone. He's checked by Marcotte, who shoots it back into the St. Louis zone. And Talbot is there to get it. Sanderson is back on, so the Bruins are at full stretch. Here's Ecclestone. Into Berenson. He didn't see it. And Dallas Smith got it to center. Noel Picard has it there. Flipped it ahead to Ecclestone. Ecclestone checked by Ricky Smith, number 10. They fight for it on the boards, but Westfall got it to center. Noel Picard for St. Louis to Jimmy Roberts. Into Berenson. Berenson trying to go around Rick Smith. In on goal. Oh, and Cheevers. A big save on Berenson, who cut in from a sharp angle and tried to pick the top corner. Bruins shoot it down the ice. Picard is back to get it. And the Boston Bruins are called for icing. And Gerry Cheevers comes up with the game's first big save.
Now here's what has made the difference, in my opinion, in the playoffs for Boston. Here's Berenson going in. Cheevers stayed right with him. He had to shoot. He made the save. Cheevers in the playoffs has been something else. Just tremendous.
There is Gerry Cheevers ready for the faceoff. He stops the shot by Boudriat. Cheevers circled his own net, winds up out to the side of the net and covered up on the loose puck as he did a complete spinorama around the Boston goal cage.
He certainly did. For those of you who may be watching Gerry Cheevers for the first time, you'll notice that on his mask there are markings. They indicate where, if he were not wearing the mask, he would be wearing stitches.
The St. Louis Blues today are playing without goaltender Jacques Plante and defenseman and captain Al Arbour and defenseman Barclay Flager. They're all sidelined with injuries. Bruins only injury to Garnet Bailey, who has been out since the regular season. Here's Phil Esposito, number 7. What does Jerry's knee said? Esposito gets away from Billy Flager. In across the St. Louis blue line, shot it into the corner. Bill Flager back to get it. He and Hodge fight for it. Hodge shot it around to the boards, and Larry Keenan has it for St. Louis. Keenan out to Ab McDonald. One man back. McDonald down against Rick Smith, and his shot was steered into the corner by Rick Smith. Here's Dallas Smith. He's flipping it out on the boards for number 8, Ken Hodge. He tried a long pass to Esposito that was too far. Down the ice it goes. Billy Flager raced back, touched the puck, and slid heavily into the boards. He had to dive to beat Casper to that puck. But as soon as Bill Flager, the youngest of 3 Flager brothers in the St. Louis lineup, touched the puck, the Bruins were called for icing.
Had he not touched the puck, and had the Boston player touched the puck, it would have been an offside, and the puck would have come back to the place where the offside pass originated. So in order to get the icing call against Boston, Billy Flager slid on his tummy to touch it.
Phil Esposito, a man who has already set a National Hockey League record for points in one Stanley Cup playoff year. He has 26 points so far, 5 more than the old record set by Stan Mikita of Chicago. Here's Bobby Orr, number 4. Orr for the Orr at the blue line. He cleared it into the corner. Still Esposito is there. Now to Kenny Hodge. His shot from a bad angle. Hall stopped that. Blues try and clear it. Ecclestone missed the stick from Orr. Now Cashman tied up by Ray Fortas. They fight for it there. It comes loose to Hodge. Out to Bobby Orr. Orr the shot. Hall! A great save on Orr. And Hall came up with a big save. Now McDonald clears it. Play is called, and we're going to have a holding penalty against Ray Fortas of the St. Louis Blues. Now we have a fight. Ecclestone and Hodge. Now Picard gets into it. Everyone pushing and shoving out near the center ice red line. Noel Picard and Bobby Orr. Picard has Orr in a headlock. Orr trying to get loose. They're over against the board. Now, John McKenzie files into it. Billy Flager has a hold of Phil Esposito. And McDonald is in there. So is Fortas, who has a piece of McKenzie. Now Sanderson grabs and Ray Fortas. Derek Sanderson has a hold of Ray Fortas, the Blues. Barrettson's in there too. Noel Picard and Bobby Orr now are separated by the linesman Ron Ego. Cashman and Ab McDonald have paired up. Red Barretson was in there, and so we have an early scrap right at the center ice red line. Right near the St. Louis Blues bench. And the Bruins, Bill Mazur points out, of 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 9 or 10 players out there. The Blues have 6. So a couple of extra men got on the ice. The action has stopped with 15 minutes and 19 seconds remaining in the first period. Let's pause for a moment.
When you go out these days, it's a rough world out there, especially for tires.
Hello again, everyone. Dan Kelly with Bill Mazur back at the Boston Garden. We have a disturbance now down at the St. Louis Blues bench, and we have some police help in there for the Blues. There's something developed with some of the fans. And also, both teams gathered over. There's Teddy Green, the injured Bruin defenseman with the turtleneck sweater on, standing over beside Harry Sinden. There's Orr going into the penalty box as referee Bruce Hood now tries to mete out the penalties to the two clubs. Fortas originally was going off for the St. Louis Blues. We'll have to wait for the rest of the penalties to be announced. There's Ted Green, the Boston Bruins player who has been out for the entire season after suffering a serious head injury in an exhibition game in Ottawa, Canada, between the Bruins and the St. Louis Blues. Green is well on the road to recovery, says he's going to come back and play hockey with the Bruins next season.
Gordie Howe is sitting next to me, and he's viewing the monitor as I am, and if he noticed Green, of course, we both pointed. I'm trying to pick up the penalty, see if we can.
St. Louis penalty number 14. Ecclestone, 2 minutes roughing. Boston penalty number 4, Orr, 2 minutes roughing. Number 19, McKenzie, 2 minutes roughing. Time of the penalty, 4 minutes, 41 seconds.
So John McKenzie and Bobby Orr of the Bruins, they're the two players you see in the penalty box now. They're off for roughing. Now Scotty Bowman wants to talk to Bruce Hood, the referee. Bruce Hood came over to the St. Louis bench. Now Jimmy Roberts, one of the St. Louis assistant captains, along with Red Berenson, another assistant captain, argue with referee Bruce Hood. The Blues have 3 players in the penalty box. Ray Fortas in there. So is Big Noel Picard. And Tim Ecclestone is now going in. So the Blues received 3 2-minute penalties, and the Bruins 2. That's been the announcement so far.
I just heard the Ecclestone and Picard. I didn't see the Fortin, but obviously Fortin's in the penalty box.
Fortin was going to get a penalty originally for holding.
For the holding,
yeah. And then after that penalty was called, that's when the pushing and shoving broke out. And the wrestling. There were no real punches thrown, although it was difficult to see as everyone milled around. So St. Louis will be 3-man short, and the Bruins 2. But of course the Blues, no team can play more than 2 men short at one time. So one of the penalties against St. Louis will be delayed. It will not start until one of the other ones expires.
Actually, Dan, like you, I didn't see the start of the battling because we were looking at the puck, and of course it seemed the call of a penalty. But apparently it started between Hodge and Ecclestone, didn't it?
First signs that I saw of the skirmishing was between Kenny Hodge and Tim Ecclestone. And John McKenzie, the man they call Pie, because they feel that McKenzie, his teammates do at least, has a pie face, and they've nicknamed him Pie. Bruce Hood back over to the penalty box, the referee, and Ray Fortas standing up, Tim Ecclestone to his left. And now Ecclestone is going into the penalty box. So that's the way it's going to be. Fortas, Picard, and Ecclestone get penalties for St. Louis. McKenzie and Orr for the Boston Bruins. Scotty Bowman, still not happy with the way the penalties have been meted out. Calls one of his players over to the penalty box, and now referee Bruce Hood comes over and is explaining something to Scotty Bowman, the general manager and coach of the Blues. Obviously, Scotty is capable of counting as well as anybody in the arena, and he saw 9 of the Boston Bruins on the ice and 6 of his men on the ice, and he wants to know what makes 3 of their players able to be on the ice at one time overhead. And that, I think, is what he's speaking about to referee Bruce Hood. At least that was, from up here. Gordie Howe was the man that spotted it. When you played in the National Hockey League for 24 years, yeah, there are things you notice. Right. Well, you were saying, I have whispered it to you. Gordie has whispered it to me. He said they got 9 men out there. So each team will be 2 men short. And at times like this, you see some wide-open hockey. Here's Rick Smith for the Bruins as play resumes over to Dallas Smith. Smith, number 20, moving in, checked by Berenson, still has the puck, tried to center it, it goes to Sanderson, but Berenson broke it up, cleared it out. McCreary tried to get it by Rick Smith, he's checked. Here's Berenson in across the line, flat shot, Smith blocked it. Berenson gets it again, centered it out to Bob Plager. Flipped it in front, Rick Smith intercepted it and starts back. Rick Smith, the pass to Sanderson in the top side, and Sanderson put it in the net, but the goal is disallowed as the play has been called back on the offside. There's a good shot of Derek Sanderson as he skates back for the face-off near the Boston blue line. The expression used in hockey for what Sanderson was doing, he was dangling at the blue line, waiting for his man to come into the neutral zone so he could give him a pass. But Derek had just skated over into the offensive zone too quickly. Over at the St. Louis Blues bench, talking to Scott Bowman. Now goes over to the penalty bench. He wants to talk to one of his fellow St. Louis teammates. And Berenson, number 7, comes back ready for the face-off. Sanderson got the draw to Ricky Smith. Bill McCreary, number 15, checked him, cleared it, but not out. Ricky Smith holding it in. Now to Dallas Smith. McCreary ties him up against the boards and comes up with the puck. Now McCreary was checked by Sanderson. What's the Ricky Smith? He goes! And the Bruins go ahead 1-0. Here is the play that made it. Notice the pass by Sanderson. There's Rick Smith, number 10. And he beats Glenn Hall. Sanderson made a tremendous play. Here's another view of it. As he sent it out, diving to stop at number 15, Bill McCreary of St. Louis. And there's Rick Smith. Ricky Smith gets the goal, and he picks up the puck as a souvenir. I'm quite sure that's Ricky Smith's first goal of the playoffs, as we check our statistical sheets here. That is his first goal of the Stanley Cup playoffs, and that's why he wanted that puck as a souvenir. But what a play Sanderson made as he used the sweep check and swept the puck right out in front to Rick Smith. And the Bruins lead 1-0. Each team still 2 men short. It's John G. Talbot at his own blue line, number 17. Now back behind his own goal goes Talbot. To Andre Boudria, number 21. He dropped it back. Roberts was going the other way. Talbot has to go back to get it. Now to Jimmy Roberts. Into Boudria. Westfall broke that up. Now Talbot for the Blues holding it in. Gets it to Boudria. Fakes the shot. Boudria moving in. Lets it go. Smith blocked it. Here's Talbot for St. Louis. Over to Roberts. Roberts tried to clear it back to Talbot, and it goes to center. And Talbot is back to get it for St. Louis. To Jim Roberts. Over to Talbot. Here's John G. Talbot, number 17 for the St. Louis Blues. Pass to Roberts. Dallas Smith broke it up. Pass to Westfall. Westfall moving in the shot. Side of the net. Westfall. Shot needed to be tipped by Talbot and hit the outside of the goal post to the side of the net. Back comes Boudria for St. Louis. Drop pass to John G. Talbot. Talbot poke check by Rick Smith. Now Jimmy Roberts has it. Berenson back on as Boudria comes out. Here's Berenson in across the line. Moves in, backhand shot. Cheevers stopped back. Esposito has it for the Bruins. Out to Esposito. Here's McKenzie in across the line. Trying to move in front. McKenzie centered it. Esposito flooded just wide, and Berenson cleared it, but not out. Bucyk to Bobby Orr. Orr the shot. Oh, great save on Orr. Bucyk for the Bruins. Bucyk. Bruins have the man advantage. Puck is held in the goal space and cleared away. We're going to have a penalty to the Bruins. Still Esposito arguing. And referee Brusson has called a penalty against the Boston Bruins. The action has stopped with 12 minutes and 47 seconds remaining in the first period. Let's pause for a moment.
Introducing the world's second 747. The only 747 that doesn't fly. Hertz $7.47 a day vacation rate. If the Boeing 747 is revolutionizing vacation travel in the air, the Hertz 747 may do it with a Ford on the ground.
Still in the penalty box for St. Louis, and now John McKenzie goes in for Boston. So each team is a man short. Bruins lead 1-0. Here's Noel Picard for St. Louis to Bob Plager, number 5. Plager a pass to Tim Ecclestone. In across the line for Ecclestone. Worked around one man, then was bumped, and here's John Ari. Checked by Berenson. Red Berenson for the Blues. Gives it to Ecclestone. He fired it back in. Now Orr trying to get it for the Bruins. Has it. Each team a man short. Bobby Orr. Swings through center. Orr, the pass to Bucyk. The shot, and he shot it wide. And the puck goes to the blue line. Orr holding it in, and they really didn't hold it in. And it's called back on the offside. The Boston fans are particularly upset at that call. As down at the other end, only seconds earlier, they thought that Ecclestone had come in across the line with the puck and put Berenson offside. Now they're upset at that call against Orr at the blue line.
Dan, you know, we always talk about how quick Bobby Orr is. Number 7, the Red Baron for St. Louis, is pretty darn quick, too. He's had a couple of tremendous bursts.
Here's Gary Sabrin for St. Louis. He lost the puck. It comes to Orr. Now to Orr. Orr, a shot, and that one just went wide. Now Frank St. Marseille comes up at the puck. Play is called, and the St. Louis Blues are going to get a penalty. Referee Bruce Hood calling play And Noel Picard, I think, is the man that's being sent off by referee Bruce Hood. It is Picard that's going off, and that will give Boston the man advantage. They lead in the game 1-0 on a goal by Rick Smith from Sanderson at 5:18. Sanderson stole the puck with a sweep check and swept it right out in front of the net to Rick Smith, who fired it into the top left-hand corner. There's Noel Picard in right for Dan, the penalty box.
Danny called it an interference, Bruce Hood did, at 8 minutes and 7 seconds, and that is the 7th penalty of the period. And we still have 11:53 to play in the first period.
Phil Esposito gets ready for the face-off. The Bruins have the man advantage. Bucyk to Bobby Orr. Over to Stanfield, number 17. Back to Orr. To Stanfield. In front of the net for Bucyk. It's tipped away, and Bill McCurry comes up with it and clears it. McCurry has a breakaway. Orr is chasing it. Here's McCurry. In on goalie shoots, and Cheevers. A great glove save on Bill McCurry on a breakaway. And Cheevers comes up with another goal-tending gem for the Bruins.
McCurry with a head of speed, and Orr trying to cut him down. What a save by Cheevers. Is even something?
Well, he made a great save earlier in this game on Red Berenson. That's the second of this game, and of course, our fans across the country remember in the first two periods, particularly the first game of the series a week ago, Cheevers was outstanding. Now it's Phil Esposito. The Bruins with the man advantage. Esposito across the line. Bob Slater took him out of the play. Esposito still has it back to Orr. Orr fakes the shot. Fortas back on. So the teams are at even strength. Orr moves in front. The drive. Bob Slater blocked it. Puck comes loose as Bill McCurry cleared it into the center ice area. Orr has it there over to Orr. Back to Don Orr. Each team a man short, so they're at even strength for the time being. But McKenzie has only 12 seconds left in his penalty, and when he comes back on, the Bruins will have the man advantage. Here's Terry Chris to Jimmy Roberts. Bucyk broke that up. Roberts gets it again, shot at the center. Orry now to Rick Smith, number 10, who has scored the Bruin goal. To Don Orry. McKenzie's on, so the Bruins again have the man advantage. Shooting it into the St. Louis end. McKenzie goes after it. Berenson checks him. Here's Bob Slager along the board. Rick Smith trying to hold it in. Now McKenzie has it. He's pinned against the boards by Chris. They hold it there. One of a face-off outside the St. Louis blue line with 35 seconds left in the St. Louis penalty to defenseman Noel Picard.
Everybody in Boston, of course, is waiting for this first Stanley Cup win, but St. Louis putting up a tremendous battle. Next Sunday, May 17th.
We don't know. Stole it from him. Here's Keenan across the line. Trying to center it. Trying to slide it in front of Orr. Broke it up and starts back for the Bruins. A four-man Boston rush. Bobby Orr trying to go around the clock. Knocked it off. He and Orr jam up against the boards and hold it there. Well, on a face-off to the right of the St. Louis goal, and goaltender Glenn Hall. 9 minutes and 8 seconds left in the first period. Boston 1, St. Louis nothing.
You mentioned earlier, Dan, that a week ago in our televised game between St. Louis and Boston, the Blues played very, very well in the first two periods, and they've played well here in this first period. Two great saves by Cheevers, and that's the only thing that's kept them from scoring, and there's a good shot of Glenn Hall.
Right from the face-off, a shot goes wide. Here's Talbot tried to clear it out. It's held in by Westfall. Now McDonald and Westfall fight for it. Now Talbot took Westfall out of the play. McDonald back to Fortas. Out to Phil Goyette. Goyette for St. Louis. In across the line. Tries to set up McDonald. McDonald couldn't get a shot on Sanderson. Cleared it, but Goyette holds it in. Goyette to Fortas shot, and that one whistled just wide. Ricky Smith for the Bruins to Westfall. Pass the center to Wayne Carlson. Off his stick, it goes down into the St. Louis zone. Fortas back to get it. He and Carlson fight for it on the boards. They hold it there. And the face-off will be in the St. Louis end. To the right of Mr. Goalie, Glenn Hall.
St. Louis has played very well here in the first period. They've skated, they've checked. They've been beaten the one time when Sanderson made a fine play to get the puck to Rick Smith. 1-0 for Boston.
Here's Dallas Smith a drive, and Hall comes up with another big save. Now Westfall's shot, deflected by Talbot. Sanderson trying to center it. He's pinned against the boards, gets loose from Goyette, centered it. Westfall couldn't get a shot, and St. Louis cleared the center. Rick Smith, number 10, back together. Fired it off the boards and went right over the boards in behind the Bruin bench. And the face-off will be inside the Boston blue line with 8 minutes and 11 seconds remaining as Harry Sinden paces up and down behind the Bruin bench.
Gordie Howe will be our co-conspirator between periods. Gordie and I will be together between the first, second period, the second and third. And Dan, you and I were talking before the game. Gordie, Dutch rival, and Ted Lindsay hold the record for 51 points in a series. And one of the Boston lines is 1 point away. Bucyk, McKenzie, and Stanfield.
Here's Gary Doak for Boston, number 25. Shoots it into the St. Louis end. Gary Gray back together. Gray flipped it on the boards to McCreary. Bill McCreary just shot at the center. Goes all the way down. They roll it. Orr could have played the puck, so there's no icing against the Blues. Orr in the corner against Gray. McCreary stole the puck, shot it back to the side of the Bruin goal, and Sanderson has it there. Sanderson, a good move to get away from Boudrian, and goes to Don Orr, number 26. Orr, a pass to Carlson. Carlson checked by Terry Gray. Carlson, number 11 for the Bruins. Pass ahead to Sanderson. He wasn't expecting it. Goes into the blue zone. Talbot back to touch it in. Because that puck was shot from the Boston side of center, the Bruins are called for icing, and the faceoff will be down to the left of Gerry Cheevers.
Dan, I think if anything points up for the matter of pride in a team, it's the way the Blues have played this afternoon. I mean, nobody has to write articles or talk about the fact that this club has disappointed itself in being unable to win in a Stanley Cup Final, but they're really playing excellent hockey today.
From the face-off, Cheevers made a save on an easy shot, and here's Orr for the Bruins. Don Orr checked by Boudrian, then cleared a long shot in. Hall stopped that, and Talbot is back in the corner, gets away from Stanfield. Pass out to Andre Boudrian. Bruins are going to get a penalty. Bucyk steals the bucket as soon as he touched it. Play is called. And the Boston Bruins are going to get a high sticking penalty. The action has stopped with 7 minutes and 2 seconds remaining in the first period. Let's pause for a moment.
You sure don't leave much, fat man. That's the name of the game, kid. Beer for everyone. You know your pool, fat man, but you don't know your beer. Hams for everyone. Ham was born in the land of sky blue waters over 100 years ago. A beer is a beer is a beer is a beer. Another round of hams until you taste your ham.
Dave Kelly with Bill Mazur and Gordie Howe back at the Boston Garden. Bruins a man short. Stanfield is off for high sticking. Boston leading 1-0. St. Louis with the man advantage. Jimmy Roberts, number 6. Over to Jean-Guy Talbot, number 17. He shot at the center. Rick Smith has it there. Now McCreary steals it, gives it to Red Berenson. Berenson for St. Louis. Pass to Jimmy Roberts. He shoots it into the Bruin zone. Cheevers sets it up for Ricky Smith. He passed it on the boards, and McKenzie slaps it off the boards down the ice. Marcotte racing down to get it. He and Roberts go in after it. The puck's on the loose. And Talbot has it for the St. Louis Blues. St. Louis with the man advantage. Talbot to center ice. Into Berenson. Berenson couldn't get the shot. Ricky Smith has it for Boston. Shooting it on the boards. Roberts held it in. Gives it to Tim Ecclestone. Ecclestone the shot, and that one went wide. Now McCreary for St. Louis. Marcotte checked in, but Berenson gets it loose. Red Berenson goes in front. Backhand shot is blocked by Dallas Smith. Berenson to Ecclestone. Oh, a great save! Mike Cheevers, another shot goes wide. Now Berenson tied up on the play by Ricky Smith. And Cheevers comes up with a great save on Tim Ecclestone.
The last sport in the game of hockey is that man right there, the goaltender. In this case, Cheevers. At the other end, of course, Glenn Hall. And Dan and I were saying, 4 great saves by Hall, 3 great saves by Cheevers. It's a 1-0 hockey match. What goaltender?
54 seconds left in the penalty to Stanfield. St. Marseille for St. Louis with Stavern and Keenan up front. Now Orr back for Boston, breaks away from St. Marseille. Bobby Orr killing off this penalty, circles back into his own end. Gives it to Don Orr. Orr picks an opening and shoots in the length of the ice. And the St. Louis Blues have to go back again. It's Roberts. Around on the boards for Larry Keenan. Keenan now to Jim Roberts. He couldn't get by Westfall. Roberts gets it again, but Sanderson checked in. Sanderson tripped as he tried to go in across the St. Louis blue line. The puck winds up underneath him. And that will cause a face-off at the St. Louis line with 22 seconds. That's Sanderson looking up at the clock. 22 seconds left in the penalty to Stanfield.
That's another facet of the Boston team that may be overlooked. Terrific penalty killing that includes a Bobby Orr, a Derek Sanderson, and Eddie Westfall. Marcotte has been excellent killing penalties. They've been tough in every phase of the game.
Here's Picard for St. Louis to Ray Fortap, back to Picard. Out at center to Keenan, and it's called back on the offside. As the pass came from inside the St. Louis blue line to the Bruins side of center ice. Bobby Orr, of course, added further laurels to an already historic NHL season earlier this week. He's the first defenseman ever to win the scoring championship in the Art Ross Trophy. Orr picked up 2 other awards. The Hart Trophy as the league's most valuable player, and the Norris Trophy as the league's top defenseman. Now here's Stavern for St. Louis. Hard, high slap shot off the glass, and it bounced up over the glass and went into the crowd. Face-off will be inside the Bruin line with 3 seconds left in the Stanfield penalty. Along with the awards to Orr, Tony Esposito, the Chicago Blackhawk goaltender, won the Vezina Trophy. He was presented with that the other day, and also the Calder Trophy as the Rookie of the Year. Orr and St. Marseille hold the puck against the boards. We'll have another face-off to the left of Cheevers. And Phil Goyette of the St. Louis Blues was voted winner of the Lady Byng Memorial Trophy as the player in the league who best combines gentlemanly play with outstanding playing ability. Penalty on Stanfield is expired, so the Bruins are back at full stretch. Here's Phil Esposito, number 7. He's checked by Frank St. Marseille, and Ricky Smith has the puck for the Bruins. St. Marseille forechecking him. It goes to Dallas Smith, number 20. Out to Esposito. Fortat checked him. Now Dallas Smith. St. Marseille tried to check him. The puck goes to Wayne Cashman. St. Marseille took it away from him, flipped it into the corner. Ricky Smith back to get it. St. Marseille tried to take him out of the play. Now Keenan attempts to do the same. Here's Hodge shooting the puck off the boards to center. Gerry Cheevers back to get it to Frank St. Marseille, number 9. St. Marseille was checked, and Esposito has it for the Bruins. Phil Esposito, number 7. Into Kenny Hodge. The drive, Hall, a big save. He got that right pad on the hard shot by Kenny Hodge. And now Noah Picard and Wayne Jackson pushing one another. Face-off will be to the left. Here's the shot by Hodge.
Here's the drop. Kicking the puck up and catching it as Espo was right at the doorstep. Glenn Hall, one of the great goaltenders in the history of the game.
4 minutes and 13 seconds left in the first period. The Bruins won St. Louis 7. Noel Picard speaks to the St. Louis bench and gets a few boos from the Boston crowd. Esposito, Cashman, and Hodge up front for Boston. Berenson, Ecclestone, and McDonald, a forward line for St. Louis. Here's Hodge into the corner, centered it. No one is there, and Ecclestone has it for St. Louis. Jim Ecclestone to center. In across the line to McDonald. McDonald, a backhand shot, and Cheevers shot it. Held onto it. We'll have a face-off in the Bruins zone. A 3-on-2 rush for the Blues with McDonald letting go a high backhander, which Cheevers caught. Phil Esposito, we mentioned earlier, number 7 of the Boston Bruins, has already scored 26 points in the playoffs. That's 5 better than the previous record of 21 set by Stan Mikita. Esposito has also tied the record for most goals. There he is. 12 in the playoffs, tying Lovable and Rocket Richard. Now Orr knocks Bucyk down right for the face-off, and Don Orr is going to get a penalty for Boston. Number 26, Don Orr, right for the face-off, being set off by referee Bruce Hood. Here's the penalty. There's Orr running into Bucyk. Had the elbows up, or it could be charging. We'll wait for the announcement. Charging. It's charging. Final penalty, 16 minutes, 4 seconds. At 16:04, the penalty against Orr. So St. Louis will go to the attack with the man advantage. Right for the face-off. McDonald tried to hold it in. It's cleared into the corner. Tim Ecclestone after it. Centered it to Goyette. Bill Goyette. Slap shot. Loose in front. Ecclestone couldn't get a stick on it. Now Westfall. Tied up by Ecclestone. Westfall holding it against the boards. McDonald pins him there. We'll have another face-off in the Bruins zone with 1 minute and 43 seconds left in the penalty to Orr. Goyette, McDonald, and Keenan up front. Here's Sanderson at the point. A shot. That hits Sanderson. Into the corner for Keenan. Larry Keenan for the Blues to Goyette. Goyette centered it, and Sanderson couldn't get a stick on it. And here's Sanderson. Sanderson chasing him. Sanderson in across the line. Sanderson steps in. Sanderson got the shot anyway, and Hall stopped it. And Larry Keenan starts back for the St. Louis Blues. A pass to Ab McDonald. Ahead to Goyette. Off the gate. Bruins, Rick Smith gets it. Shot at the center. Ecclestone couldn't get it, and Keenan goes back to his own line. A pass to Red Berenson. Berenson for St. Louis. In across the line. Tries to flip it through, drops it back now to Keenan. Keenan for St. Louis. In front to McDonald, and he failed to deflect it. Now Rick Smith clearing it on the board. Ecclestone held it in, then was caught by Westfall. Cheevers out of the net, took Goyette out of the play, and Orr, for the Bruins, shoots the puck the length of the ice. And the Blues have to go back with 45 seconds left in Orr's penalty. Here's Talbot for St. Louis. Pass to Goyette. Into Roberts. Roberts' shot, and that went wide. Cheevers grabbed the rebound off the boards and held it. We'll have a face-off to the left of the Bruin goal with 35 seconds left in the penalty to Orr. Gerry Cheevers slowly gets to his feet. Cheevers has played in 12 playoff games this year. This is his 13th. Has a 2.17 goals against average. He has been in the goal for 11 Bruin wins and 1 Boston loss in the playoffs so far. And has played in 9 straight victories, a record in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Now it's Orr. Shooting the puck off the boards, but not out. Picard held it in, and then it hit Stanfield's stick and went to center. Cleared it back in offside. And the faceoff will go down into the St. Louis end with 21 seconds left in the penalty to Orr. McKenzie and Stanfield up front for the Bruins. Orr goes off. Rick Smith comes out there. Rick Smith and Dallas Smith on the Boston defense. There's Fred Stanfield. The center on the Bucyk-McKenzie line, and a most underrated player. Bill McCreary comes up with the puck, gets it to Talbot. St. Louis with the man advantage. Talbot to McCreary, out to Boudria. Off his stick, and Rick Smith fired it back into the St. Louis end. And Picard goes back together. Joel Picard for St. Louis. Out to Jimmy Roberts. Roberts to McCreary. The pass is behind him. Talbot has to go back to Picard as Orr steps back on, so the Bruins are at full strength. Boudria's long slap shot, steered to the corner. Johnny Bucyk, number 9, back to get it. Passing to McKenzie. He cleared it to center. Talbot over to Noel Picard for St. Louis. To Boudria. Andre Boudria for St. Louis. Slap shot. Cheevers got his glove on it. Then up over the glass and into the crowd. And that gave the Bruins a chance to get a whistle because John McKenzie had broken his stick. So McKenzie went over to get a new stick. Cheevers playing very heads-up goal for the Boston Bruins. 1 minute, 33 seconds left in the opening period. Only goal scored by Rick Smith from Sanderson at 5:18. Boudreau gets the draw, goes to Stanfield. Stanfield back behind the net for Rick Smith. Boudreau tying him up. Now play is called. And we're going to have a penalty against Andre Boudreau of the St. Louis Blues. Boudreau going off for St. Louis. Stanfield is going off for Boston, so it's a penalty against each team. Incidentally, noticing the strategy of this game compared to the 3 previous games in the series, when Scotty Bowman had an almost constant shadow on Bobby Orr, today the Blues have not had a man on Orr. They have been playing it without the shadow man on Orr. Roughing penalties at 18:36 against Stanfield and Boudreau. At Stanfield. Now for the face-off, the Bruins take control. It's John Orry, number 26. He's out of the Boston defense with Orr. Orry to Phil Esposito. He shoots the puck along the boards into the St. Louis end. Hall sets it up for McCard, out to Bill McCurry. Here's Bill McCurry for St. Louis to Bob Plager. Bob Plager for the Blues across the line. Shot goes Cheevers, a great save again. As he grabbed that hard shot by Bob Plager and held it. And McCurry cut in. Watch the play. Here's Bob Plager, number 5 for St. Louis. And watch Bill McCurry on the left wing, cut around behind the Bruin defense. There's the shot, and McCurry would have been right there for a rebound, but Cheevers made sure none came and held it for a face-off. 58 seconds left in the period. Berenson with Ecclestone for St. Louis. Bob Plager and Picard on defense. Bill Esposito and Cashman for the Bruins. The puck comes to Cashman. Now a pass to Phil Esposito. Ecclestone skipped it away from him, and Bob Plager has it. To Berenson. Berenson across the line. Into Bob Plager. Backhand shot. They score! Berenson got the rebound. And put it behind Cheevers. After Cheevers had made the original save on Bob Plager. Watch it again. Berenson in across the line. Perfect pass to Bob Plager. His backhand shot stopped by Cheevers. Berenson got his stick in front of Orr to get the rebound and flip it in. And the same goal from another angle. Bob Plager on the backhand. Cheevers makes the save. There's Orr and Berenson. And Berenson got his stick on the puck and flipped it in. Bob Plager and Ecclestone get the assists on the goal. Here's Bob Plager for the Blues to Picard. Back to Bob Plager. Each team still a man short. Score now tied. Boston 1, St. Louis 1. Westfall shoots the puck down into the blue zone. Picard is back to get it. Noel Picard. Putting it off the boards to Ecclestone. Ecclestone to center ice with Chris. One man back. Gives it to Chris. The shot! Oh, and Cheevers got across there in a hurry. And Orr starts back for the Bruins. Bobby Orr, their great rushing defenseman. Tries to go around the defense. Still has the puck. Circles the net. Centered it. The buzzer goes to end the period. Bob Plager lying flat on the ice. That's the puck underneath him as he intercepted Orr on that brilliant end-to-end rush. That's the end of the first period with the score. The Boston Bruins won, the St. Louis Blues won. Next Saturday, CBS will bring you the Preakness from Pimlico Race Course in Baltimore. Just Commander, winner of the Derby, heads the field, the second of the Triple Crown races for 3-year-olds. CBS will broadcast this event live at 5 p.m. Eastern Time next Saturday. And Just Commander seems healthy after earlier tells that he would run, and is in Baltimore ready for the Preakness at Pimlico. 5 o'clock Eastern Time next Saturday on CBS. Dan Kelly with Bill Mazur and Gordie Howe back at the Boston Garden for Game 4 of the 1970 Stanley Cup Final between the St. Louis Blues and the Boston Bruins. The Bruins lead the series 3-0. But here in Game 4, as we get ready to start the second period, it's a 1-1 tie. Rick Smith scores from Sanderson for the Bruins at 5:28. Then Red Berenson from Bob Flager and Tim Ecclestone for St. Louis at 19:17 to tie it at 1-1. Boston Bruins have won the Stanley Cup 3 times. Their last Cup win was in 1940-41, 29 years ago. Bruins coming back onto the ice. The St. Louis Blues, of course, have been in the NHL for only 3 years now. They have never won the Cup, but this is the Blues' third consecutive year that they have won the West Division and won a berth in the Stanley Cup Final. In the regular season this year, Boston had an edge on St. Louis, winning 3, losing 1, and 2 games ended in ties. Now the St. Louis Blues making their appearance from the far side of the ice. Twelve penalties called in that first period, 7 to the Bruins and 5 to the St. Louis Blues. Gerry Cheevers getting words of encouragement from Bobby Orr. Cheevers has been just sensational in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Down at the other end, Glenn Hall, playing in his 113th Stanley Cup playoff game, more than any other goaltender in the history of hockey. To start the third period, each team will be a man short. Fred Stanfield and Andre Boudreau each have 36 seconds to serve in their penalties for roughing. And Boudreau of St. Louis taking his position in the penalty box. He formerly played with the Montreal Canadiens in their organization, then the Minnesota North Stars, then the Chicago Blackhawks, now with the St. Louis Blues, and there's Fred Stanfield. He also formerly played with the Chicago Blackhawks. And as I mentioned earlier in the telecast, probably one of the most underrated center icemen in all of hockey. Very warm here in Boston today. The temperature somewhere over the 80-degree mark, and it's much warmer than that here in the Garden, with another capacity crowd on hand. And as a result, you can see patches of water on the ice as we get ready to start the second period. Referee is Bruce Hood, the linesman Matt Pavlich and Ron Ego. Each team a man short. Sanderson gets the draw back into his own end, and Don Orey is back to get it, number 26. Pass to Sanderson, number 16. Sanderson tried to come in across the St. Louis line. Picard took it away from him, gives it to Bill McCurry, number 15, back to Talbot. John E. Talbot, veteran defenseman for the St. Louis Blues. A good move to get away from Sanderson. Talbot still with the puck in the center ice area. Now in across the line. Dropped it back. Roberts didn't see it. Here's Sanderson breaking away in the right lane. Picard is after him. Sanderson is on it wide. Penalized players are back on. Boudreau and Stanfield. So the teams are back at full strength. Here's Andre Boudreau, number 21. Stick handling niftily at center ice. Try to pass to McCurry. Call back on the offside at the Boston Bruins blue line. We played 53 seconds of the second period. The Bruins won and the St. Louis Blues won.
I guess you and Gordy both feel a little more than I do today, but boy, it really is warm here, particularly down in our CBS control. It has been a very, very warm first period. Not only from a point of view of thermometer heat, but actually play out on the ice. As I mentioned in the first period, Dan and I really believe in this very strongly. A team with tremendous pride plays the way St. Louis is playing today, and they have pride.
Esposito for the Bruins. Shoots it into the St. Louis end. Ecclestone and Cashman go back after it. They jam up on the boards. Esposito comes in. The puck is loose. Blues, Bill Flager coming up with it. Flipped it out at center, and it goes all the way down into the Bruins zone. Dallas Smith, number 20, back to get it. Touches it, and the St. Louis Blues are called for icing. I mentioned in the telecast earlier, Bill, that the St. Louis Blues and Scotty Bowman are going with a different strategy today. They are not putting a special checker on Bobby Orr, the great Bruin defenseman.
Now, they did that last week, and apparently Scotty decided to, let it go at that. But this Boston club is just played inspired hockey.
Here's Dallas Smith, a shot right from the faceoff that just went wide. Now Big Ad McDonald for St. Louis. Ahead to Berenson off his skate. Rick Smith comes up with it. Out to Phil Esposito. Esposito around Bill Plager. Moving in, and he shot it wide. Puck on the boards, and McDonald for St. Louis. Shot at the center. Rick Smith, number 10, has it there. Pass to Kenny Hodge, number 8. He shoots it into the St. Louis end. And Bill Plager, number 23, is back to get it. Pass to McDonald. He shot it, but not out. Smith holding it in. Ecclestone checked him. Now Bob Plager for the Blues. Flipped it high out the center. Cashman missed it. And Dallas Smith has to go back to get it for the Bruins. To Esposito. Back to Rick Smith, number 10. Shooting it into the St. Louis end, and Bill Plager goes back to get it. Esposito's after him. Esposito jammed him out of the play. Now Hodge trying to center it. And the puck winds up underneath the two players in the corner. The action has stopped with 17 minutes, 45 seconds remaining in the second period. Let's pause for a moment.
When you open certain doors, suddenly your confidence is put to the test. And it's a good thing to have that little dab of Bro Cream going for you. Your hair looks good and natural. And that's the way to look when someone looks at you. The way you know you look with Bro Cream. It's a little dab of confidence.
Back at the Boston Garden for the face-off to the left of the St. Louis goal. Score, Boston 1, St. Louis 1. From the face-off, it's Calvin beat to the puck by McKenzie, who flipped it into the corner to Bucyk. Boudriot took him out of the play, and Picard comes back for St. Louis. No Picard, number 4. Long slap shot. Cheevers shot it. Orr takes over for the Bruins. Swings away from Boudriot. Passing to Stanfield, number 17. Long pass ahead to McKenzie. Chris took him out of the play, and Hall cleared it. Now it's Boudriot back for St. Louis. Andre Boudriot tipped it to the Bruin line, and Orr broke it up, and Picard has it for St. Louis at his own line. Over to Talbot. Talbot into Boudriot. He couldn't get the pass. Bucyk has it for the Bruins. Got it back to center. Here's Gary Crisp in across the line, and Boudriot went in ahead of the play offside at the Boston blue line. 16 minutes, 59 seconds remaining in the second period. The Bruins won and St. Louis won.
I said to Gordie Howe as we were on our way downstairs, Bucyk has not had much ice time, and of course part of that is due to the fact that they've been killing off penalties. Both teams have, and as a result, this line of Stanfield, Bucyk, and Johnny McKenzie, which is just 1 point short of the all-time record held by Gordie, Dutch rival, and Ted Lindsay, a 51 in a playoff series.
Here's Dallas Smith. Gives the puck to Sanderson, number 16. He shoots it into the St. Louis end. Gary Cheevers back to get it for the Blues. Passes to Frank St. Marseille, number 9. St. Marseille. In across the line. Gets it to Cheevers in the shot. He scores! Gerry Cheevers puts it in behind Cheevers with a low flat shot after an end-to-end rush by St. Marseille.
You'll see it perfectly. The angle here is just perfect. And he picks the far corner. Cheevers apparently expected him to go to the short side, and he just kept it low and got it over Cheevers' outstretched right leg. And St. Louis has been playing inspired hockey today.
And the St. Louis Blues lead for only the second time in the series. Saberin's goal makes it 2-1. St. Marseille gets the assist. Here's Ricky Smith for the Bruins. Passing it off to Dallas Smith, number 20. Ahead to the blue line. Bob Plager broke it up and starts back for St. Louis. Bob Plager for the St. Louis Blues. A shot. Sanderson deflected it wide. Westfall, number 18, back to get it for the Bruins, giving it to Ricky Smith, number 10. St. Louis Blues lead 2-1. Here's Sanderson. Gets away from St. Marseille. Long pass into Carlton. Sabrin broke it up. Sanderson shot deflected by Carlton. Stopped by Hall and centered. Sagarin gives it to Bill McCreary, who starts back for the Blues. McCreary checked by Rick Smith, who shot at the center. Sanderson after it. Bob Flager beat him to it. Over to Ray Fortas. Bruins are going to get a penalty. There's Carlton touching the puck, and Derek Sanderson is going to get a penalty for the Boston Bruins for elbowing. The action has stopped with 15 minutes, 39 seconds remaining in the second period. Let's pause for a moment.
Welcome to American Airlines, sir.
Oh, you haven't.
Sir? You look beautiful now, sir.
Thank you. I like these especially well.
Your baggage has been checked through the Los Angeles, sir. Just go straight to gate 7. 7? Thank you. We're here.
This comes in American Airlines. Red courtesy phone for a message.
Number 7.
Thank you.
That's number 7.
We know that some days you have more important things to think about. That's why we made flying American so simple. All you have to do is drive up to our doorstep. Good afternoon, sir. Are you traveling together? You are traveling together.
You certainly know your way around, Lance.
Sanderson is in the penalty box for Boston for elbowing. St. Louis with the man advantage. Roberts over to Berenson. Red Berenson into Larry Keenan. Keenan gets it to Ecclestone. Ecclestone for the Blues. Gets into the corner behind the net to Goyette. Out of front goes Keenan, and he missed the open side. Larry Keenan. Keenan has the puck again. Back to the corner to Goyette. Goyette centered to Keenan. Oh, Cheevers, a great save. And look where that puck winds up behind his back. A big save on Keenan after Keenan earlier had missed the open corner.
Here it is in slow motion. The pass comes out, perfectly fed by Goyette to Keenan, his backhand, and Cheevers stays right with that puck. Here it is from another angle. There's Goyette, passing it out. Ecclestone is right on the doorstep, too. And a fine save by Gerry Cheevers.
A minute 36 seconds left in the penalty. St. Louis on the power play. Goyette trying to center it. Now Orr into the corner. Falls as he bumps Ecclestone. And the puck winds up underneath Bobby Orr. And we'll have another face-off. St. Louis has Goyette at center, Larry Keenan on left wing, Ecclestone on right wing, with Berenson and Roberts on defense, or as the point men. The Bruins have Westfall and Don Marcotte up front. Bobby Orr and Don Orry on the defense. St. Louis leading 2-1 in this game. They trail 3-0 in the series. Here's Bobby Orr. Shooting it on the boards to Marcotte. Marcotte couldn't get it by Roberts. Here's Goyette into the corner. They hold it there. We'll have another face-off in the Boston zone to the left of Cheevers.
Lady luck, of course, plays a large part in any contest, although, you know, people tell you you make your own luck, but that puck's got to bounce for you, particularly in a situation like this one, where it was almost cleared out but kept in.
Now from the face-off, they lose Goyette. Couldn't get a shot. Here's Ecclestone. Back to Jim Roberts. Roberts over to Berenson near the blue line. He lost it to Marcotte. Puck is cleared back in, and it's offside at the Boston line. 1:06 left in the penalty to Derek Sanderson.
As that turned out, it was a good break for St. Louis. Had the puck just eluded Berenson, Marcotte's on his way. There's Sanderson in the penalty box.
Bruins from the face-off clear the puck down the ice, and Berenson is back together. Gives it to Phil Goyette. Goyette. Marcotte comes to center. Here's Goyette. Rolled it across the goal. Now no one was there. Now Roberts. Back to Berenson. The shot, and that went wide. Here's Jim Ecclestone. Into the corner to Goyette. Goyette bumped by Orry. Gets it to Ecclestone. He tried to center. Westfall cleared it in. It's got by Roberts. Goes down the ice, hauled out of the net. To beat Marcotte to the puck. Cleared it in behind the net to Berenson. He is Marcotte alive. Marcotte trying to come up with the puck does. Marcotte centered to Westfall. It was chipped away. Now it's Chris for St. Louis. 20 seconds left in Sanderson's penalty. Chris centered it, but Westfall broke it up. Out to Marcotte. to Bobby Orr. Orr spins away from Bucyk. Orr, beautiful making. Throws that puck. Back to John Orry. And Sanderson is back on. Here's Mark Cox. 1 minute back and the shot goes wide. Esposito after the loose puck. Trying to center it. Blues are going to get a penalty. Here's Jim Roberts for St. Louis. Stirring it on the board. Play is called. And a hooking penalty has been called against the St. Louis Blues. The action has stopped with 13 minutes, 28 seconds remaining in the second period. Let's pause for a moment.
Want sugar? Everybody can kick you in the ring today. Oh, man, that's what you said in Chicago back in 52. Come on, have a beer. Sure. What kind you have? A beer. A beer's a beer? No. Hey, wait a minute. Give Rocky a hand.
Drink deep and discover what ham drinkers have known for over 100 years.
A beer is a beer is a beer is a beer. Hey, let's go another round of hands.
Too far in front of us.
Red Berenson in the penalty box for the St. Louis Blues for hooking. And the Boston Bruins, who set a record for power play goals in the regular season with 81, now send out that vaunted power play of theirs. They trail 2-1. Esposito at center. McKenzie on right wing, Bucyk on left wing, Orr and Stanfield the point men. Bill McCreary gets the draw to Orr, a shot. Oh, caught that and held it with Esposito cutting in, looking for the rebound. The Blues from St. Louis have Bill McCreary and Calvin out as mentally killing forward. Now Boudreau steps over the board. And he replaces Calvin. So with Bob Slager and Picard on the defense. 1 minute and 56 seconds left. Boudreau arguing with the referee, Bruce Hood. About some point, Esposito and Boudreau will try for the face-off. But Boudreau goes over to say something to goaltender Glenn Hall.
He blows his whistle, and it's just that simple a call. Hood lost sight of the puck. He blows his whistle, and the play is over. And as you've seen many times on instant replay, one of the greatest things that's happened really in any sport is the fact that you can see Esposito stick up. You see what a great job the officials do.
Face off to the left of the Blues goal. 42 seconds left in the penalty. Here's Esposito, lost it to Roberts, but Orr hustled back to get the loose puck. And Bobby Orr has it for the Bruins. They have the man advantage. It's to Phil Esposito. Esposito into the corner against Bob Slager. Centered and Hall cleared it. It's loose behind the net to Cashman. Now to Esposito. Centered and Roberts broke it up. Esposito gets it again. Esposito slides it into the corner. Kenny Hodge is there against the card. That comes loose to Roberts, who shoots at the length of the ice. And the Bruins have to go back with 4 seconds left in the penalty. Orr swings away from one man. Sanderson's back on. Blues at full strength. The pass from Sanderson. Hard shot. Oh, doubled it but held it. And there'll be a face-off in the St. Louis zone.
Tempers are starting to come. Now here's Orr setting up Sanderson, and he shoots what would be called a fastball in baseball, a riser. And Hall had difficulty with it. As in baseball, Sanderson, number 16, when that puck is light, shot lightly, it has a tendency to rise. And, of course, the heavy shot tends to drop, to sink. 2-1 for St. Louis, and the Blues have really played themselves a hockey match.
Now Jim Lawrence out there at center ice for Boston for the first time in the game with Cashman and Hodge on the way. Dallas Smith and Rick Smith on defense. Goyette with Ecclestone and McDonald out there for St. Louis. Puck comes loose to Kenny Hodge. He can't get a shot. Now Goyette knocked flying by Hodge. Puck comes loose to Lawrence in front of the net. Goyette's going to clear it out. He's lost the stick. Here's Ecclestone. Couldn't get it out. Now Dallas Smith lost it to Ecclestone, who cleared it out to Big Ad McDonald. McDonald to center. Pass to Goyette across the line. Back to McDonald. In on goal. He shoots. Cheevers, a great save Talbot broke it up, and the Blues clear it down the ice. Going back to get it is Casper. Touches it, and the St. Louis Blues are called for icing. St. Louis had a great chance to go ahead 3-1 as McDonald was set up by Goyette.
Talking about being set up, Goyette was set up pretty high in the air. Who caught him that one shot as we look at Scotty Bowman, Dan? Was it Kenny Hodge?
I think it was Hodge.
Got a piece of him.
Hodge is a big guy and can throw his weight around when he wants to. Here is Hodge from the face-off, banned on his shot. The puck is still loose. Comes to Tim Ecclestone for St. Louis. Ecclestone out to Goyette. Long pass to McDonald. Off his stick into the Bruins zone. Cheevers out of the net. Gives it to Ricky Smith. McDonald after him. Sending it to Roberts. Roberts to Goyette. Oh, Cheevers had a piece of that deflection by Goyette. And the Bruins come back. Lawrence to Cashman. Cashman, number 12, moves in. Couldn't get a shot. Talbot started it. Back comes Ecclestone for St. Louis. In with Goyette. Ecclestone gets it to Talbot. Talbot flipped it in front, and Rick Smith knocked it back behind the net as St. Louis changed on the move. Here's Dallas Smith. Tried to go around the defense. Roberts broke it up. Now Sabrin in the corner. Taken out of the play, but Talbot for St. Louis cleared at the center as the pace is Torres. Here's Sanderson for the Bruins. Across the line. Oh, and he's knocked hard by Bob Flegger. Sabrin gets it to Bob Flegger, number 5. Out to McCurry, off this stick down into the Bruins zone. And Wayne Carlton, number 11, goes back to touch it, and the St. Louis Blues are called for icing. 9 minutes, 31 seconds left in the second period. St. Louis leading 2-1.
I know now what they mean by the famous Gordie Howe elbow. With all that bodying going on out there, he hit me a shot in the elbow to tell me they're really banging one another. Boy, they're throwing their bodies around. Gordie, if my rib is broken, I'll tell you only one thing. Ouch.
From the face-off, it's Orr, a drive, and that one just went wide. Now the Bruins hold it in, and St. Marseille has it for St. Louis. Comes to center, across the line to Gerry Sabrin. Sabrin lets the shot go, and Cheevers came out to cut down the angle and make the save on that. It's Orr. St. Marseille keeps him off. Orr gets away from St. Marseille. Bobby Orr in for Carlton, who couldn't control the pass. Westfall deflected it, but couldn't make good contact. Now McCurry for St. Louis. Shot at the center. Westfall is back to get it. Flipped it back to Bobby Orr. Orr over to Don Orry. Out at center to Sanderson. Sanderson flipped it in front. Flager intercepted it and flipped it up over the glass into the crowd. As Westfall crashed into the goalpost down near the St. Louis net.
I tell you, it's hot in Boston today in more ways than one. It's very warm here in town, thermometer-wise. Play on the ice in this period has just been something else. And this crowd, which has waited for 29 years for a Stanley Cup champion, is just champing at the bit. It's been a fine hockey match. 2-1 for St. Louis. Play has just been exciting. Flager has really put his body into Sanderson twice. We're looking at Glenn Hall in goal, one of the great goaltenders in the history of the game.
Stanfield on this face-off against Boudreau. Puck comes loose to Stanfield. Centered it, no one was there. Here's McKenzie, a shot. That's blocked as Picard has it for St. Louis. Noel Picard cleared at the center. McKenzie lost it. Don Orry gives it to Stanfield now. Fred Stanfield into McKenzie, and it's offside at the St. Louis blue line. As McKenzie was just in across the blue line when he took that pass.
Johnny Pye was handing buttons out today on which was stamped Pye. And he's really working. You can see the heat has had a little bit of an effect on him. What a game.
8:28 left in the second period. Here's Orry, number 26. Over to Bobby Orr. Back for Orry. He shoots the puck into the St. Louis end of stick. Noel Picard is back together. Picard clear to the front out. It's Bucyk. To McKenzie, a shot. That's blocked into the fence. It's held again. McKenzie is going to get a penalty. John McKenzie of the Bruins. Now Picard comes over, says something to McKenzie. Talbot has been injured. He's slow in getting up. Now bring to McKenzie. Talbot has been injured. He's slow in getting up. Now getting to his feet. But McKenzie is going to get a penalty. Now he motions with his stick at Gary Chris. Here's a look at the penalty.
A good view. It was almost a bad mistake made, and there's the chop that puts Talbot down. McKenzie trying for the puck, but play had been ended.
The action has stopped with 8 minutes and 5 seconds left in the second period. Let's pause for a moment. Still Esposito, ready for the face-off against Frank St. Marseille. St. Marseille comes up with the puck. He and Marcotte fight for it. Bruins a man short. McKenzie in the penalty box. Here's Larry Keenan to center ice. Keenan, number 18, flipped it into the corner. Sanderson and Marcotte went after it. It's Keenan back to Roberts. Over to Berenson. Berenson couldn't get a shot. And when he did, it was a weak one, and Esposito blocked it. Esposito on the boards is checked by St. Marseille, and here's Brett Berenson. Berenson for St. Louis to Roberts. Now to Larry Keenan. Keenan ahead to Berenson. Berenson trying to go around Smith. Has the puck. Centered it. No one was there. Here's Roberts for the Blues. That's the point. The shot, Sanderson deflected it wide, and Esposito has it in the corner. Picks an opening and shoots it off the boards down the ice. 1 minute and 13 seconds left in the Boston penalty. It's Jim Roberts to Red Berenson for St. Louis. Pass into Frank St. Marseille. St. Marseille into the corner to Keenan. Rick Smith ties him up. It comes to St. Marseille. St. Marseille lost the puck. Ricky Smith has it, gets it out, but not outside the blue line. Roberts held it in, then Sanderson intercepted it and lying on the ice, got it out the center. Roberts back to get it, lost it to Marcotte. All out of the net to clear it to Gary Sabras. Sabras got it to center. 40 seconds left in the penalty. Larry Keenan for St. Louis, back to Roberts. Roberts out to Ecclestone. He tried to make a pass. Now Berenson has it. Berenson to St. Marseille. Sanderson broke that up. Cleared it to the line, and Orr tried to get a break, but Roberts broke it away. Now Keenan jammed against the boards by Marcotte. It's Sanderson for the Bruins in his own end. Gets away from Boudreau. Out to Bobby Orr. Orr with Sanderson. Orr the shot. Oh, a great game! And the puck goes to Sanderson. Centered to Westfall. He couldn't get it. It goes all the way down the ice. With Dallas Smith back to get it just as John McKenzie comes back on. Boston at full strength. Here's Westfall. Fakes the shot. Westfall against Calvin. Centered it. Poked away. Here's Orry into the corner to Cashman. He centered it. Westfall, a shot. It's deflected. Hall got a piece of it. Now Esposito centered it to Westfall. Calvin broke it up. Hall grabs the loose puck and holds it for a face-off.
Boy, the pressure, the intensity, tremendous. Boston really putting a lot of weight on now, using their bodies. They're a very big, very strong team. Esposito, a 200-pounder. Cashman, a 200-pounder. Kenny Hodge, a 200-pounder. Bucyk, who weighs 217. A big, strong, dauntless team. They really hit you. And they've been putting enormous pressure on the St. Louis team. And St. Louis has come right back at them.
Only once before in the history of the Stanley Cup playoffs has a team ever lost the first 3 games of the series and come back to win. And that was the way back in 1941-42. When the Toronto Maple Leafs lost the first 3 games to the Detroit Red Wings. Here's Esposito. A shot. He scores! Phil Esposito! Right from the faceoff. Hits the corner and for Phil Esposito. A record. 13th goal. A record for Phil Esposito. Here it is again. He kicks the bottom right-hand corner. His 13th goal of the playoffs. The breaks the record for most goals in one Stanley Cup year.
There you see it. All kicking, had no chance. He beat him on the long side, and as Dan has pointed out, Esposito now owns the record for most points by 6. He's got 27. Most goals, 13. He beats the record by Richard and Beliveau, jointly held. A young man from Sault Ste. Marie, his dad is here today to see him play, and it's a happy moment for him.
Esposito gets his 13th goal of the playoffs and his 27th point. go, 14-22. We couldn't catch the assist on the play, if any.
Esposito from Hodge at 14-22 as Scotty Bowman is trying to rally his team.
The Blues from the faceoff shoot it into the Boston end, and Orr is back to get it. Sanderson took him out of the play. Orr now to Hodge, out to Esposito. Esposito with one man back. Billy Flager knocked him down, and Bob Flager cleared the puck. Now it's Orr for the Bruins. It's tied 2-2. Orr behind the net to Cashman. He centered it. Cleared away, and Bob Flager shoots it off the boards. Ecclestone is after it. He gives it to McDonald. In across the line for Ed McDonald to Barrington. Barrington lost the puck. Esposito gets it, but it goes to Ecclestone. To Barrington. Barrington can't get a shot on Orr. Starts back for the Bruins to Phil Esposito. Barrington lost his helmet. Here's Esposito. A shot. Hall, a great save. That's Esposito. Tested Hall, and then Hall stopped, and Cashman ran into him. Across the line, and Crisp had gone in ahead of the play as Talbot gypsy doodled a little too long and sent Terry Crisp in ahead at the blue line on the left wing.
Talbot made a very good rush, but just, as you say, Dipsy Doodle and Doodle just one stride a little too long. They played very well. It's one of the best playoff games we've seen this season.
Boudria against Stanfield. Boudria got the draw, goes all the way back into the St. Louis end, and Glenn Hall gives it to Talbot. Score tied 2-2. Talbot for the Blues. Out to Terry Crisp. Crisp a pass to Jim Roberts. Roberts checked by Bucyk. Bucyk shoots it into the St. Louis zone. McCard and Stanfield go back after it. Stanfield trying to center it. Now it's McKenzie behind the net to Bucyk. Centered again by McKenzie, and Crisp played it back into the corner. Out McCard knocked down. Puck is still loose. It's Bucyk trying to work it in front. Helmet for the Blues couldn't clear it. They jam up along the board. Talbot and McKenzie comes loose to Gerry Crisp. Out to Jimmy Roberts. Roberts trying to get away from Dallas Smith. Smith checked him. Boudria gets the puck. Boudria, the shot deflects. Goes high in the air into the corner, and Stanfield has it for Bobby. Boudria knocked it. Now it's centered out. Billy Flager couldn't hold it in at the blue line. Flager has to go back to get it for the St. Louis Blues. Flager, long shot into the Bruins zone. Cheevers sets it up for Ricky Smith. Smith cleared it off the boards to Stanfield. He missed it, but Carlton picked it up. Carlton shoots it into the St. Louis zone, and Sabrin for St. Louis, number 11, is back to get it. Gary Sabrin, a pass out to Frank St. Marseille. He's bumped by Orr. Now Sabrin comes to center. Westfall took it away from him, and Carlton has it for the Bruins, number 11. Out to Derek Sanderson. Back to Don Orr. Orr out on the right wing to Westfall. Pass ahead. Goes to Carlton. And across the line to Sanderson. The shot all got it. And held it for a faceoff, which will be in the St. Louis zone with 2 minutes and 46 seconds remaining in the second period. The fifth game in this series, if needed, will be played in St. Louis on Tuesday night. A sixth game would be in Boston on Thursday night, and if it went 7 games, it would be in St. Louis on Sunday afternoon. St. Louis 2, Boston 2. The Bruins, however, have a stranglehold 3-0 lead in games in the series. Here's Westfall trying to set up Orr. McDonald deflected it out to center. Don Orr has it there. Got it into the St. Louis zone, and it's called back on the offside at the St. Louis blue line as Sanderson golfs the puck right up over the glass and into the crowd. And the linesman, Matt Pavlich, goes to the penalty timekeeper's bench to get a new puck. Goyette, McCreary, and McDonald out there for St. Louis. McCreary on right wing. Sanderson, Westfall, and Carlton for the Bruins. Here's Carlton. Got away from Goyette, shoots it into the St. Louis hand. Bill Flager back to get it. He and Carlton fight for it there. They jam up on the board. Carlton centered it. Bob Flager cleared it back to the corner. Now it's Sanderson. Sanderson working it in front. Takes the shot, then lets it go, and it went just wide. McCreary for St. Louis clears it off the board down into the Bruins zone. And Orr is back together. Bobby Orr. Head to Carlson. Carlson checked by Goyette, shot it into the blue zone. Bob Slager to McCreary. He shot at the center, and Orr is back there together. Orr gets away from Phil Goyette. Bobby Orr to Carlson. Carlson shot by Hall, and he held it for another face-off in that St. Louis end. Bruins led 1-0 on a goal by Rick Smith. Then the St. Louis Blues came back to tie it before the end of the first period when Red Berenson scored. Gerry Cheevers put St. Louis ahead here in the second, but Phil Esposito has come back to tie it. That's Esposito. He has scored 13 goals in the playoffs and has racked up 27 scoring points, both of which are records. 1 minute 46 seconds left in the second period. Berenson got the draw from Esposito. It goes to John E. Talbot, number 17. Talbot cuts right in front of his own goal. Lost it to Esposito. Cuts back into his own zone now. Out to Larry Keenan. Keenan for the St. Louis Blues. Gives it to Talbot. Talbot to Picard. Picard ahead to Ecclestone. He's in across the line. Ecclestone throws in the shot. Cheevers, a great save on Ecclestone. Ecclestone for the Blues. The Bruins are going to get a penalty. Centered it. Cheevers stopped it. Esposito comes up with it. Play is called. And Ecclestone has been cut. He's calling for a penalty. Wants the Bruins to be given a major penalty. Ecclestone really tested Gerry Cheevers. Cheevers made a fine save. Going to the penalty box for the Boston Bruins. He gets a minor penalty.
Boston penalty number 20, Dallas Smith. 2 minutes for interference. Time of the penalty, 18:52.
18:52. The time of the penalty against Dallas Smith. So the Blues have the man advantage. Here's Jim Roberts at the point, trying to set up St. Marseille. Into the corner, and Orr has it. Clearing it off the boards. It hit one of the St. Louis players, but all the way down the ice. But it hit a St. Louis player, so the face-off will go back in the Boston zone. The point from where the puck was shot. 58 seconds left in the period. There's Tim Ecclestone out on the power play. Puck goes to the corner. Bobby Orr is back to get it. Brought on the boards to Westfall, number 18. He picked an opening. Shot at the length of the ice, and Roberts has to go back to get it for the St. Louis Blues. He gives it to Red Berenson. Berenson on the right wing. Comes to center. In across the line. Tried to set up St. Marseille. Sanderson couldn't get it out. St. Marseille couldn't get a shot, and now Sanderson has it. Shoots it into the St. Louis zone, and Roberts goes back to get it. Ecclestone goes to the bench and is replaced by Sabra. Jim Roberts gives the puck to Red Berenson. Berenson being closely watched by Derek Sanderson. Out to Gerry Cheevers. Sabra and a pass over on the wing to Larry Keenan. Keenan for the St. Louis Blues. Long pass to Sabra. Rick Smith broke it up. Here's St. Marseille to Sabra. Across the line and it's called on the offside at the Bruin blue line. With only 3 seconds left in the second period. 55 seconds left in the penalty to Dallas Smith. So he'll still have some time to serve in his penalty when the third period starts. From the face-off, St. Marseille got the draw. Cheevers steers it into the corner, and the buzzer goes to end the second period. We're ready for the start of the third period. The Bruins are still a man short. Dallas Smith has 52 seconds to serve in his penalty. So the St. Louis Blues have the man advantage as we start the third period. Goyette, McDonald, and Keenan for the Blues. From the face-off, Keenan gets it to McDonald. He gives it back at his own line to Red Berenson. The return pass to McDonald. In across the line for Keenan. Keenan for St. Louis. Works his way into the corner, back to Roberts. Roberts' shot, that's wide. Here's Goyette to McDonald. He fanned on it. Keenan scores! Larry Keenan got the pass out. Cheevers has been injured. The pass came across the goal mouth. McDonald fanned on it, but Keenan made no mistake. And Larry Keenan fired it in as Cheevers is helped to his feet by Bobby Orr. Here's a look at it again. Goyette taking the shot off the board, centered to McDonald. He fanned on it, but Keenan was there, made no mistake, and his backhand caught the top corner. And for Larry Keenan, a big goal, his 7th of the playoffs. Here's another angle look at the goal by Keenan. Cheevers is down. Keenan puts it up over him. And into the... seemed to hit him on the face or on the head. And the Blues go ahead 3-2. The action has stopped with 19 minutes, 41 seconds left in the third period. Let's pause for a moment. Here's Bobby Orr for the Bruins. Shot at the center. Bob Plager has it there. Plager to Gary Sabrin. Over to Frank St. Marseille. Bill McCreary to the Bruins zone. And Orr has to go back together. Around to Don Orey, number 26. Now to Derek Sanderson, 16. St. Louis on ball out of the net to clear it on the board. Here's Sabrin to Bill Plager. He couldn't get it out. Don Orey a drive to Sanderson, the shot. Oh, a great save, and he grabbed the rebound as he stopped Derek Sanderson from right at the edge of the goal crease.
Glenn Hall, one of the really great ones that you'll see. Sanderson made an excellent play on this. Watch him come in, takes it to his backhand, makes the shot, and apparently thought he had scored. The stick went up. Carlton is the Boston player, number 11. Here's Sanderson cutting around the defense. Coming in. Down to his knees goes Hall. Glove comes out. And there's the puck, and look at how he guards it. Back to the live action as the puck flies into the Boston end, and Cashman has it for the Bruins, number 12. Wayne Cashman. Trying to go around Bob Plager. Has the puck behind the net, centered it, but Red Berenson comes up with it. Berenson to McDonald. He couldn't catch up with it. It slides into the Bruins zone, and Rick Smith is back to get it against McDonald. McDonald for St. Louis. Checked by Smith, who gets it to Cashman. Now Berenson steals it for St. Louis to McDonald, off his stick. McDonald along the board, trying to hold it in. They fight for it there. Hodge chipped it back in behind his own net to Rick Smith. Rick Smith, number 10, gives it to Phil Esposito. Esposito to center ice to Hodge. Bob Plager bumped him. They hold the puck against the board long enough for a face-off, which will be outside the blue line of the St. Louis Blues. 18:05 left in regulation time. If the teams are tied at the end of the regulation 60 minutes, they play sudden death overtime. Dan, we've been talking about what do good defensive defensemen do. They play the way Bob Plager has played today on defense.
Plager has been throwing his weight around. Here's Boudrias for St. Louis to center ice to Jim Roberts. Back to Boudrias. Boudrias shot. Cheevers got it. Throws it off to Bobby Orr. Out to Stanfield. Stanfield, poke check by Noel Picard, and Boudrias has it for St. Louis at center. Got it to the Bruin line. Bucyk takes over there. John Bucyk. Again, checked by Picard. Picard runs into Stanfield. Kerry Crisp has the puck. A pass to Talbot. Talbot for St. Louis, shot at the center, and Orr is back to his own blue line to get it. Bobby Orr to Don Orey. He shoots it into the St. Louis end, and Talbot is back for the Blues. Bumped by Stanfield. Now McKenzie centered it. Picard cleared it. Boudrias couldn't control it. Orr back into the corner to McKenzie to Stanfield, who centered it, but Boudrias. The pass out on the right wing to Roberts at center. Jimmy Roberts trying to go around Orey. The shot, and that low shot was wide. Bounces to McKenzie. Out at center to Orr. Bobby Orr for the Bruins. Moves into the slot. The shot, and Hall just got his leg on that. Orr trying to center. Hit the side of the net. Orr still after the puck. Flips it behind to Bucyk. Bucyk centered it, and Roberts broke it up for St. Louis. Roberts out to center to Frank St. Marseille. He's checked by Stanfield. He slides it across to Bobby Orr. Orr for the Bruins, who trail 3-2. Long shot into the blue zone. Gerry Cheevers, number 11, back to get it for St. Louis, around to Bob Plager. He cleared it center. Frank St. Marseille couldn't get it. Dallas Smith got it back into the St. Louis zone, and Noel McCard clears it around to the board for Plager. Bob Plager sent by Westfall. They fall to the ice, and McCard back to get it for the St. Louis Blues. McCard out of his own end comes to center ice. Long, hard flat shot. Cheevers stopped that. Stavern into the corner after it. Carlson trying to get it out of there. Gets it to Dallas Smith. He shot it to center. Bob Plager for the Blues. Shooting it right back in. And the Bruins have to go back. It's Ricky Smith for Boston. St. Marseille tying him up. They fight for it on the boards. It comes loose. Bill Plager trying to hold it in at the blue line. Now Stavern flipped it back into the Boston zone, and Dallas Smith has it, and the play is called on an offside at the Bruin blue line.
St. Louis now really playing positional hockey. The wings going up and down their own wing. That center man not drifting too far. And this young man, Bob Plager, every time somebody comes down the ice with his head down, he does a double somersault over Plager's body.
Plager is playing not with one bad shoulder, but with two. Now here's Cashman for the Bruins. Pass it center to Phil Esposito. Esposito around McDonald, centered it, it goes to Hodge. Hodge into the corner. Ecclestone cleared it out to center, and Orr has to go back after it. Bobby Orr for the Bruins. Shoots it into the blue zone. Bob Plager shot it back to center, and Orr has it there. To Esposito. Bob Plager broke it up, cleared it back into the Bruins zone, and Orr has it there. 15 minutes left in regulation time. St. Louis 3, Boston 2. Orr to Esposito. Around the Plager, Ecclestone cleared it, but not out. Bob Plager. That's the puck to McDonald, who slides it out the center. Bob Plager had lost his stick. Now gets it back again as the Bruins. Cashman has it on the left wing. In across the line to Esposito. Back to Cashman. Hall puts checked in. Ecclestone has it for St. Louis. Got it to center. Bobby Orr for the Bruins. Burns to get away from Berenson. Here's Orr breaking in. Moves in on goal. And Ecclestone tipped it away. Back comes Berenson for St. Louis. One man back. Berenson trying to go around Orr. Berenson into the corner. Centered it to Ecclestone. Oh, and Orr slid in front of that shot. And the Bruins come back. Esposito to Hodge. Back to Esposito to Orr. Orr in the corner. Centered it. Hall had a piece of it. Here's Esposito. Another shot, and that one went wide. Now Bobby Orr. A shot. That's deflected into the corner. Kenny Hodge. Lost it to Bob Plager. Plager falls. Hodge gets the puck to Esposito. He can't get a shot. And the Blues, Berenson clears it down the ice. Play is called, and the Bruins are going to get a penalty. The Boston Bruins are getting a penalty. The action has stopped with 13 minutes, 45 seconds left in the third period. Let's pause for a moment. Both Phil Esposito and Ray Fortag get penalties. Esposito's is for roughing. Fortag of St. Louis is for holding at 6:15 of the third period. So each team will be a man short. St. Louis Blues 3 and the Boston Bruins 2. Stanfield against Bill McCreary for the face-off. McCreary gets the draw along the board. Knocked down by Stanfield, and here's Talbot for the Blues. To Bill McCreary, number 15. McCreary, long shot, deflected off Rick Smith's stick into the corner. Dallas Smith is back to get it. Each team a man short. A pass to Stanfield off his skate. Talbot cleared it back to center, and Bucyk has it there. Bucyk for the Bruins. Made it off by Talbot, who gives it to Bill McCreary. McCreary to Jim Roberts, who comes to center. Roberts in across that line. Tried to go around Smith. Now Talbot tipped it into the corner. Stanfield for the Bruins takes over and starts back. Number 17, Fred Stanfield. Tried to set up Bucyk. The pass was too far ahead. Talbot back to get it. Around on the board for Bill McCreary. McCreary comes by Bucyk. Bucyk went down. McCreary comes up with the puck. Gets it to Talbot. 1 minute left in the penalties to Forte and Esposito. Talbot gets away from Stanfield. Slowly to his own line. Cuts back. Now passes to Boudriana. Boudriana to Picard. Picard for the Blues. Long shot blocked by Dallas Smith, and Stanfield has it for Boston. A pass to McKenzie. John McKenzie takes the shot, still has it. Bob Plater took him out of the play. McKenzie still with the puck though. Back to Rick Smith. A drive. Hall grabs it. It's loose. Fire up. And Hall has the puck as we have that corner fire off the card. And McKenzie rolling around in that goal crease like a couple of wrestlers. They get to their feet now after a great scoring chance for the Bruins. Seconds left in the penalties to Esposito and Forza. 12 minutes, 15 seconds left in the third period. St. Louis Blues 3. And the Bruins 2. There's still Esposito. Sanderson for Boston out there with McKenzie, Orr, and Orry from the faceoff. McKenzie couldn't get it. Here's Sanderson. Couldn't get it by Orr. Now Bob Plater gets it out at center to Ecclestone. Ecclestone to center. Orr knocked his stick from behind and the puck slid into the corner, and Orr is back to get it. Around on the board, Bill Plater for St. Louis. Shot it back in behind the net. Now McKenzie for the Bruins. Couldn't get by Bob Plater. Blues trying to check the Bruins at this point with that one-goal lead. Here's Bobby Orr. Out to McKenzie. Now Esposito and Fortire back on Orr. Down by Bob Plater, and Plater is going to get a penalty for upsetting Bobby Orr. A tripping penalty against Bob Plater, and this will give the Boston Bruins a big chance with the man advantage. The action has stopped with 11 minutes, 35 seconds remaining in the third period. Let's pause for a moment. Bobby Orr ready for this faceoff. Sanderson is out for St. Louis along with Jimmy Roberts. Talbot and Picard will be on defense. The Bruins power play of Esposito, Bucyk, and McKenzie up front. Orr and Stanfield the point men. Sanderson and Esposito ready for the faceoff. Puck comes to Berenson. He couldn't get it. Now McKenzie knocked down by Roberts. Talbot for the Blues. Around his own net check by Bucyk. Now the puck comes to Picard. Picard flipping on the board. Berenson getting it, but not out. Orr to Stanfield. The shot. Deflected. Hall. A great save on Bucyk. It's Glenn Hall. Rob Bucyk from about 4 feet out. And the Blues should at the length of the ice with Orr back together. Orr in his own zone. A minute and a half left in the penalty to Bob Plater. Out to McKenzie. McKenzie flips it into Esposito. It's offside at the St. Louis blue line. They rule that it was hit down by a high stick by Esposito. And the face-off will go all the way down into the Boston zone.
That was the exact call that was made by the linesman Matt Pavlich, who showed definitely that Esposito, number 7, had his stick above his shoulders when he brought the puck down. 3-2 hockey match in favor of St. Louis, and they're pressed now as they're a man short.
Now McKenzie from the face-off for Boston. A pass to Bucyk. One man back. Bucyk trying to go around Picard, and Picard neatly poked it off his stick. It's centered now to McKenzie. McKenzie back on the point to Orr. Over to Stanfield. Into Bucyk. Bucyk tied up by Jimmy Roberts. Bucyk gets away from Roberts. Puck comes loose back on the point to Stanfield. This shot hits Talbot's stick, and Talbot has it for St. Louis. John G. Talbot for the Blues. Tried to go around Stanfield. Stanfield took it away from him. 52 seconds left in the penalty. A pass to Esposito. He flipped it in front for Stanfield, and Hall stopped it and cleared it to center ice himself. And Bobby Orr is back to get it. Boudriot tried to steal it from him. Now to Bill McCreary, who shot it all the way back into the St. Louis end. And Picard goes back to get it. Over Picard, slapping the puck out to center ice. Ken Hodge has it there. 30 seconds left in the penalty. Here's Wayne Cashman, number 12. Gets away from Boudriot. Cashman into the corner. Picard falls. So does Cashman. Up again. Back to Stanfield, and he couldn't hold it in. And the puck goes down to the Bruin line. Stanfield with 12 seconds left. In across the line. Drops it to Hahn. The shot goes wide. And Jerry Chris golfs the puck off Esposito's stick to center. 2 seconds left in the penalty. Esposito to Orr. Into the St. Louis zone. Orr behind the net. Tied up by Bob Plater. They gang up in the corner and hold it there. 5 players jammed up in the corner, and we have a face-off with 9 minutes, 26 seconds left in the third period. Blues leading 3-2. The action has stopped with 9:26 left in the third period. Let's pause for a moment. Bruins shooting it back in at its offside at the St. Louis blue line. 9 minutes and 8 seconds left in regulation time. St. Louis Blues 3, Boston Bruins 2.
Gordy Howe mentioned the same thing. Harry Sinden trying to rally his team at 3 games up, and they'd like to finish it in front of their home folks. But as Gordy said, tremendous pride by St. Louis.
Here's Cashman for the Bruins. Knocked down by Bill Plager. Bob Plager comes up with the puck, shooting it, but not out of Rick Smith to drive. McDonald blocked that. McDonald trying to clear it out, couldn't. Hodge has it for the Bruins. Goyette missed his chance to second, and here's Bob Plager. Ahead to Keenan, who has the break, and the puck bounced off his skate. Back comes Rick Smith for the Bruins. In across the line to Lawrence, to Cashman, and Keenan checked in. Keenan behind the net, bumped by Cashman. Now Hodge has it. They fight for it along the boards and hold it there. We'll have a face-off with 8 minutes, 32 seconds left in regulation time.
You notice the changes are being made, and now the strategy as the two coaches pick their brains to get the best men they have out there on the ice. Of course, Sinden looking for somebody to score. Scotty Bowman looking for his team, if possible, to score, but to keep it at least 3-2, St. Louis leading it.
We've had 19 penalties in the game, 11 against the Boston Bruins and 8 against the St. Louis Blues. Here's the card from the face-off to Gerry Cheevers. Cheevers cuts behind his own net for the Blues. Watched by Sanderson. Goes back the other way. Passes it over to Talbot. Talbot for St. Louis out to McCreary. To Frank St. Marseille. Long shot. Cheevers stopped that. Slides it into the corner. Carlson clearing it on the board. Puck comes all the way to center, and Talbot has it there. Talbot for St. Louis. Ahead to Stavern. He missed it. St. Marseille shoots it into the Boston zone. Carlson circles his own goal. Gives it to Orr. 8 minutes left. Orr for the Bruins. Moving flat shot. Hall caught it, and it knocked him off balance, but the play had been called back on the offside of the St. Louis blue line. And Bobby Orr showing one of his many and varied talents of moving flat shot. The Plager brothers, Bob and Bill, out on the ice for St. Louis now. Here's Bob shooting at the center ice to Bobby Orr. He fired it back in, and Bob Plager and number 5 is back together. St. Louis leading 3-2. A pass out to Bill McCreary. He cleared it to St. Marseille. Marcotte checked him. Now Sanderson and St. Marseille fight for it. They jam up along the boards of the blue line. Marcotte pushes at Bill Plager. Linesman jump between them. 7 minutes, 32 seconds left in regulation time. St. Louis Blues 3. The Boston Bruins 2. Larry Keenan scored the go-ahead goal for St. Louis from Goyette and McDonald after 19 seconds here in the third period. Sanderson, Westfall, and Marcotte for the Bruins. The puck comes to the Boston line. Orr has the fair. Over to Don Orey. Orey for the Bruins. The center ice, shooting it into the St. Louis end. Gerry Cheevers passing it. Lost the puck. Westfall centered it. Sanderson is up. Oh, a great save. Puck is close at the side of the net. Comes Bill. Now it's close, and Bill McCreary shifting over on the other side. Cheevers gets it. He's not flying by Orey. Now it's behind the St. Louis goal. Hall trying to hold it there. Does with his right leg, with Sanderson trying to pry it loose. What a save by Mr. Goalie Glenn Hall in the St. Louis goal. Marcotte and Bill Plager have twice been on the verge of fighting, and I think Scotty Bowman has told him, don't get into a battle and get a penalty. We'll watch it now in slow motion. Look at the action in front. Hall took a stick. There is a battle between Plager and Marcotte. They're still battling for the puck. And watch Hall. He'll go down very shortly as Sabrin took a tumble. Plager going out. Now play back in. Here's McKenzie for the Bruins as we get back to the live action. Stanfield the shot. All stop back. Bucyk a shot. That's blocked. And Bouillon for St. Louis clears it down the ice, racing down after it. He's going to be beaten to the puck by Dallas Smith, who touches it. And St. Louis is called for icing. And the face-off will go back in the St. Louis end with 6 minutes, 46 seconds left in regulation time. St. Louis leading 3-2. Dan, you've got to start with Glenn Hall and talk about Picard and Bobby Plager. They've been tremendous. Here's McKenzie, couldn't get a shot. Talbot for St. Louis, gets it to Boudria. He tried to shoot it out. Now McKenzie, back on the point to Rick Smith, back to McKenzie. In front of that, Bucyk, he scores! John Bucyk, deflecting in the pass out, and the Bruins tie it at 3-3. And this crowd at the Boston Garden is going wild. Here it is in slow motion. Rick Smith passes it to the side. The shot. The tip in by John Bucyk. And Gordy, I want to tell you, your line has been tied. 51 points now by the Stanfield Bucyk-McKenzie line. Bedlam here at Boston. That goal for Bucyk is 11th of the playoffs, and that will break the record for that line for points in a Stanley Cup playoff. Bucyk gets the goal, and the ice has been littered here at Boston Garden. There is Johnny Bucyk, who scored his 11th goal of the playoffs only seconds ago. 34 years of age, and one of the great Bruin veterans.
We would ask your cooperation and not
See if we can pick up the announcement.
the game, please. The Boston goal was scored by number 9, Bucyk. Assist number 19, McKenzie. And number 10, Ricky Smith.
McKenzie and Rick Smith get the assist on the goal by Bucyk at 13:28. And the score is now the Boston Bruins 3, the St. Louis Blues 3.
The 51st point by the line of McKenzie, Bucyk, and Stanfield. And this place is in an uproar. They've waited 29 years in Boston for a Stanley Cup championship team. Twice John Bucyk has been on finals losers, both times to the Montreal Canadiens. I think it was 58-59 and 57-58. Is that their 52nd point? Gordy, I'm sorry. They've broken your record. Gordy says, okay. The crowd still in an uproar.
6 minutes, 32 seconds left in regulation time. Boston 3, St. Louis 3. Boudria gets the draw to the Bruin line, and Dallas Smith cleared it into the St. Louis zone. Picard to Talbot for the Blues. Talbot sending it away from McKenzie. Now out to Gerry Cheevers. To Andre Boudria. He slides it into the Bruin zone. McKenzie goes back to get it, touches it. And the Blues are called for icing. And the face-off will be down in the St. Louis zone in the circle to the left of Glenn Hall. Hall, by the way, had no chance whatsoever, as I'm sure you watched on television didn't realize. Beautiful deflection of the McKenzie pass by Bucyk. Stanfield, McKenzie, and Bucyk for the Bruins. One goes to Talbot. He cleared it into the corner. Got it there again. Talbot trying to clear it out. It's Stanfield. Gets it to McKenzie. McKenzie centered it. And Talbot is going to get a shot. Let's it go. McKenzie took the ball. Goes to the side of the net. And Hall slides out to hold on. Had it under his pad. And held it there for a face-off. With 5 minutes, 58 seconds left.
Glenn Hall is a veteran in Stanley Cup play, but I doubt that he's ever been in a game that has had more excitement than this one. He's been perhaps in better played games, and perhaps in games where there's been no scores made. But tied at 3-3, the pressure here is tremendous, and it's on him as the Bruins are storming the gate.
Here's Don Orr, his shot. Hodge has a try. Let's go. He's got it high and wide. Puck on the board. Don Orr holding it there against Ecclestone. And we'll have another face-off inside the St. Louis blue line. St. Louis has Berenson, Ecclestone, and Keenan up front. It's Esposito, Hodge, and Cashman, the forward line for the Bruins. Orr and Don Orr on defense. Bill Plager and Bob Plager on the St. Louis defense. There's Scotty Bowman, the general manager and coach of the St. Louis Blues. Berenson got the draw, goes to Kenny Hodge. Orr puts the long shot in. Hall caught it. Goes to Bob Plager. He lost it to Esposito. The Hawk! And that's Dawson. Back comes Berenson for St. Louis. Red Berenson in across the line. Tackles on the shot. Oh, Cheevers! Threw the crossing bandit with his left hand and held on.
Here it is in slow motion. Watch the Red Baron make the play. The shot. The sprawling save by Gerry Cheevers to keep the score at 3. And that's the first real threat St. Louis has put up in some time.
Berenson against Esposito on the face-off. Berenson gets the draw to Bob Plager. A shot. Cheevers got that. Throws it to Don Orr. Orr behind his own net to Bobby Orr. Orr for the Bruins to Esposito. Esposito across the line. Bob Plager trying to check his Tina has the puck. Circles behind his own goal. Over to Ecclestone. Ecclestone tried to clear it out. Did the center to Berenson. He was checked. Now Ecclestone gets it for St. Louis. He's pumped by Orr. Orr injured on the play. Ecclestone comes up with the puck for the St. Louis Blues. Here's Ecclestone shooting a long one into the Bruins zone. Orr is back to get it. Don Orr tied up by Berenson. Now the puck goes to Wayne Jackson. Gives it to Bobby Orr. Orr for the Bruins. On the left wing, Billy Plager knocks him flying. Puck is shot back into the Blues zone across side as Orr came up with it. And what a check that Bill Plager put on Bobby Orr. Don Orr is arguing that the Blues should have had a penalty when he was hit over the head with a stick. But Ecclestone tried to check him. There's that tremendous check Bill Plager put on Orr.
There was Bobby Orr taken out of the play by Billy Plager. Watch. He gave him the hit. Good check and knocked him down. Incidentally, on the play where Orr was hit, it was a completely, there's a shot of Bobby now, completely unintentional thing by Ecclestone, who simply had his stick and was turning it to his forehand. Orr had his head down, and it just happened to hit him. The referee right there saw the play, Bruce Hood, and made no call.
There is Don Orr.
Don Orr, right, Danny.
4 minutes, 35 seconds left as the puck is shot down into the Bruins zone. 4.5 minutes left in regulation time. It's tied 3-3. Here's Sanderson for the Bruins. Derek Sanderson, a long bouncer. Hall out of the net. Scooped it up. This is the Gary Stafford. He's got it on the board. Sanderson centered it. Rick Smith couldn't hold it in, and it comes to center. Dallas Smith has it there. A pass to Carlson, who shoots it into the St. Louis zone. Glenn Hall giving it to Melvin. Melvin out to McDonald. Big Ab McDonald cuts back near his own net. Now a pass out on the board. Goyette couldn't get it. Here's Rick Smith in across the line. Melvin broke it up and it goes to Goyette. Bill Goyette for St. Louis. A pass ahead to Stafford. Has a break. And the puck rolled off the stick. Cheevers out of the net to grab it. Then Carl came sliding into him. And almost jarred the puck loose.
Dan, if it ends tied at 3-3, we'll have an intermission, and then they'll begin play again, and it'll be 20 minutes. The first team that scores, of course, wins the game. CBS will stay with it right to its conclusion.
We have 3 minutes and 49 seconds left in regulation time. Boston 3, St. Louis 3. Goyette against Sanderson on this faceoff. Goyette gets the draw to Talbot. Talbot near the blue line, a shot, and that one's caromed off the side of the net. Here's Goyette trying to center it. Goyette has it again. Tried to center it out. It went all the way to center. Picard over to Talbot. Talbot ahead to Bill Goyette. Goyette for the Blues. Across the line to Faber and a shot. Cheevers got his glove on that. Now Rick Smith. Out on the boards to Westfall. Westfall to Sanderson. Sanderson to center ice. Shooting it into the St. Louis end. Faber and back to get it. Bumped by Marcotte. And Picard comes up with it. Gets it to Bill Goyette. Goyette for St. Louis with Sabrin. In across the line to Sabrin. Sabrin moved it in front. Couldn't get his shot. And Rick Smith cleared the puck up over the glass into the crowd. And we'll have a face-off with 3:07 left in regulation time. Just inside the Boston blue line. There's Rick Smith, their fine rookie defenseman. He's the guy that filled the big void in the Bruin lineup when Ted Green was lost for the season in a preseason exhibition game. 3:07 left in regulation time. And this has been by far the best game in the series. Both teams going all out. Tremendous pressure, too. Here's Orr for the Bruins. Being watched by Gerry Cheevers. Orr trying to get away from Chris, gives it to McKenzie. Out to Stanfield. Long pass to Bucyk is too far. Hall lets it go down the ice. Bucyk back to get it, trying to center it. And Bob Flager intercepted and has it behind his own goal. Out to Bill McCreary on the left wing. McCreary a long pass to Roberts at center. Roberts couldn't get around Stanfield. They fight for it on the board. Now Chris comes up with it for St. Louis. Terry Chris into Roberts. Roberts in front to Chris to McCreary. Tried to center it. Orr broke it up. Now McCreary trying to clear it on the board to Roberts. Back in behind the Bruins goal, and Stanfield has it there. Stanfield out to McKenzie. John McKenzie. Pumped by Bill Flager. And Roberts is into the corner against Bucyk. They have each other tied up. Chris clearing it up to Roberts now. Long pass to McCreary. Bill McCreary, a long shot. Cheevers stopped that. And Orr is back to get it for the Bruins. 2:05 left in regulation time. Regulation time. To Bucyk. Back to Orr. Ecclestone picked in. For shot and picked in. For shot and Cheevers stopped that. And the Bruins, Stanfield has it. Out to Bucyk. To Stanfield. Across the line for Fred Stanfield, and Ecclestone took it away from him and starts back to Berenson. Red Berenson tried to go around Orr, and Orr poked it away from him. Now it's Cashman for the Bruins. In across the line, Picard tying him up. Cashman in the corner, checked by Ecclestone. Ecclestone back to Picard. He cleared it, and Hawes intercepted. Hawes is shot. Bucyk shot. And the Bruins got it wide. Center again. A pile-up. Buck is in the corner. Ecclestone now to Berenson. Berenson for St. Louis with 1:22 left. Berenson into Keenan, and Keenan couldn't control the pass. Larry Keenan into the corner for the Blues. Trying to center it. Here's Esposito for Boston. Again, Hodge to drive. Oh, great save on Hodge. As he took that one with his left glove, it was ticketed for the top corner. And Hall grabbed it and held on for a faceoff. Here's a look at it. Hodge can really fire that puck. Lets it go. Boom. And Hall took it away from Ken Hodge. 1:06 left in regulation time. Boston 3, St. Louis Blues 3. Bruins have Esposito, Cashman, and Hodge out there. St. Louis coming out with Goyette, McDonald, and Sabrin on their forward line. Picard and Talbot on defense. Now from the faceoff, the puck comes loose to Gerry Sabrin. Sabrin for the Blues. Block shot. Cheevers took out a piece of that drive. And the Bruins, with less than a minute left in regulation time, take over. Here's Bobby Orr. Wheels out of his own zone. Orr for the Bruins. The block shot. Picard blocked at it. Into the corner. Cashman trying to center it. Goyette comes up with it for St. Louis and just shot at the center. Orr is back with 40 seconds left in regulation time. Over to Rick Smith. Smith shooting it into the St. Louis zone. Picard and Esposito go back after it. Picard falls. Puck winds up underneath him, and we'll have a face-off in the St. Louis zone with 27 seconds left in regulation time. As Big Noel Picard, who's played quite a game on the St. Louis defense, gets to his feet. Comes over near the St. Louis bench as Scotty Bowman sends out Berenson, McCreary, and Roberts with 27 seconds left in regulation time. This has been a tremendous hockey game, no matter which team wins. Boston 3, St. Louis 3, 27 seconds left in regulation time. Sanderson against Red Berenson for this important face-off in the St. Louis zone. Berenson gets the draw. Here's Hodge's shot as he got the puck. It hit the side of the net. Blues trying to get it out of there. It's held in. Now Bill Flager for St. Louis. Out to McCreary, who comes to center, shooting it into the Bruins zone. 15 seconds left. Cheevers gives it to Orr. McCreary watching Bobby Orr. 10 seconds left in regulation time. A pass to Caston. Caston comes to center. Roberts poked it off his stick. 3 seconds left in regulation time. Long shot to the St. Louis goal. And the buzzer goes. And we're going to have sudden death overtime. The score at the end of the regulation 60 minutes. The Boston Bruins 3, the St. Louis Blues 3. And we're going to have sudden death overtime. Glenn Hall in goal for the Blues. Cheevers in goal for Boston. Just as they were ready to drop the puck, someone skated out of position. So they'll try it all over again now. Play underway. The first team to score wins the game. Here's Picard. Out to Tim Ecclestone. Back to his own line to Jean-Guy Talbot. Talbot out to Keenan. He missed it, and Bobby Orr flipped it out at center to Sanderson. Sanderson shooting it into the St. Louis zone. Racing in is Carlton for the Bruins. Centered it up close in front, and Talbot cleared it. Here's Sean Orey, a shot. That's blocked by Talbot. Now Sanderson a drive, and that one whistled wide. Orey for the Bruins, tied up by Ecclestone and Berenson. Westfall rolled it in front. Sanderson tried a shot that was wide as Keenan cleared of a cutout. Bobby Orr behind the net to Sanderson. Orr! Bobby Orr! Scores for the Boston Bruins! As Bobby Orr, their 22-year-old sensation, scores after 40 seconds of overtime. And the Bruins win the Stanley Cup. Here's a look at it again. It was centered, and Orr flipped it in behind Glenn Hall on Sanderson's pass. Another look. In behind the net to Sanderson, out in front to Orr, and Bobby Orr made no mistake in beating Glenn Hall. And the Bruins win the Stanley Cup, and now we have the St. Louis Blues and the Boston Bruins congratulating each other. There's Bobby Orr, the man that scored the winning goal. And for Orr, he's already set a playoff record for goals by a defenseman, his 9th in the playoffs. But certainly, he's the guy that has led the Boston Bruins to a Stanley Cup, and he's the guy that finished it off. A mob scene. Down at one end is the Bruins, and the Blues congratulate one another. 29 years ago, the Bruins last won a Stanley Cup, and they do it today, much to the delight of a capacity crowd in Boston. There's Gerry Cheevers hugging Bobby Orr, the man that scored the goal. Some of the fans on the ice. 22 years of age. Harry Sinden is there, too. That's Sinden hugging Orr as the Bruins win the Stanley Cup on a goal by Bobby Orr. After 40 seconds of sudden death overtime, the Bruins win the game 4-3 and win the series in 4 straight. Certainly a very exciting moment here in the Boston Garden. Scotty Bowman out there congratulating the Bruins. There's a happy fan. He's kissing Bobby Orr.
Dan, I just back and I missed the goal. But you know, if there was such a thing as a poetic goal, that's it. The young number 4. But what a battle St. Louis gave. Listen to this crowd. Waited 29 years for this.
The roar from the crowd. Just listen to them. The roar is deafening here in Boston as they bring the Stanley Cup out onto the ice. The Boston Bruins score after 40 seconds of overtime, and who else but Bobby Orr gets the goal. He's the man that has led this Bruin team at 120 points over the regular season, won the most valuable player trophy. There's Orr hugging John McKenzie. It must be great to be 22 years of age and wear the colors of the Boston Bruins and be the man that scored the overtime goal to bring the Bruins their first Stanley Cup in 29 years. There's Ted Graves. He's in tears. Coming out on the ice with Harry Sinden.
You know, this really is a very emotional moment for a very emotional team. I don't think they realize yet that it's Ted Graves, the being embraced by Hodge. In a moment, I think they'll know that it's green, and then the roar will be even more on we're number one. It's a great moment in Boston.
A thrilling moment for the Boston Bruins and their fans. Denny Green is the man out in the turtleneck sweater in the center ice ceremony. And you know, Scotty Bowman, the general manager and coach of the Bruins, sent at a luncheon the other day, Bill. He felt the Boston Bruins started building for the Stanley Cup when Bobby Orr was 12 years old and they signed him to a contract. And both words look very true right now when you see Orr score the winning goal.
There it is, the Stanley Cup. The longest played-for trophy. Ed Green has touched it, the longest played-for trophy in North American professional history. And
Clarence Campbell, the president of the National Hockey League, out there at center ice. There's Ted Green. See him brushing the tears away from his eyes. The rest of the Bruins. Johnny Bucyk around the cup. Phil Esposito. Gerry Cheevers is in there.
well, the spectators, please clear the ice.
Trying to present the Stanley Cup. This crowd is hollering, we're number one. And the Bruins have Harry Sinden and Bobby Orr up on their shoulders. There they are. The Bruins coach Harry Sinden and Bobby Orr now get down to the ice again. Mr. Campbell wants to present the Stanley Cup.
Get it up
President of the
there.
National Hockey League. Bruins don't have a captain as such. They have 4 assistant captains.
Mr. Campbell is now presenting the Stanley
Larry
Cup.
Campbell now presenting the Stanley Cup to John Bucyk, the 34-year-old veteran left winger and assistant captain of the Bruins.
Tony? Why didn't they have a mic here?
Mr. Campbell posing for pictures as he presents the Stanley Cup to Johnny Bucyk. And Bucyk has the Stanley Cup. It's in Boston. And Bucyk skates around with the cup to the roar of the crowd. Johnny Bucyk, the great veteran left winger, has that trophy high in the air. And the crowd loving every moment of it. The Bruins have won the Stanley Cup for the first time in 29 years. Bucyk brings that cup down to the other end of the ice. He wants all the fans to have a look at it.
I don't believe I've ever seen a more emotional scene than the one in Boston. The love of the players for their fans and the fans. But look at Cheevers leading the fans in the cheering. They may have a shot up. There he is, bowing to the crowd, skating around just to the side of Bucyk is Gerry Cheevers. And he is excited. He just doesn't know what to do with himself. It is really an emotional moment, as we've said before. And hockey fans are unusual. I think they're the most unusual fans in all of sport. And this is why. What a moment. What a moment for Boston.
And there they go, the Boston Bruins skating off with the Stanley Cup. Johnny Bucyk having it high over his head. What a moment for the Bruins and their fans. The time of the goal, 40 seconds of sudden death overtime. Bobby Orr set up by Sanderson to win the game 4-3 for Boston and to win the series 4 games to nothing. And we should add a word or two about the St. Louis Blues, Bill. They put on a valiant effort here today, and you and Gordie Howe talking about their pride.
They have certainly exhibited the kind of play, the kind of spirit that is a championship type of spirit.
Okay, this is Dan Kelly now for Bill Mazur saying goodbye from the Garden in Boston.
The finals of the National Hockey League Stanley Cup playoffs were brought to you by Uniroyal, makers of Pro Kids basketball shoes, and by Gatorade, the big thirst quencher for active people. produced by CBS Television Sports.